Welcome to Nimmin Live, the #1 place on the internet to learn about YouTube, network with other content creators, and have an awesome time doing it. My name is Nick, and today we are answering your YouTube questions. So if you're a YouTube content creator, you've got questions, you're trying to figure stuff out, you're trying to, figure out how to do this whole YouTube thing, you are in the right place, and we are here to help. We're going to tell you how to participate in that. It's completely free. We're going to tell you how to do it here in just a minute, but before we do, I do want to cover some YouTube news. No, I'm just kind of messing up the flow here. But
when he says,
here's my brother. here's my brother, D.
In the history of us streaming together, he's never botched that intro.
Yep.
So this is the first time he's ever botched that intro. So if you're thinking about live streaming, you're like, I don't know what I'm going to say. What if I make a mistake? What if I flub things when I come into it? Just to let you know that an experienced creator, such as Mr. Nimmin over here, also makes mistakes, rather large mistakes sometimes, such as dropping the ball when it comes to introducing his sibling. And
Jerry says the mic is very hot, by the way.
His older sibling. Okay.
Yep. So, and then D also, by the way, since we're picking on each other, has the audio levels turned up too much as well after we just did a mic check. So that's fantastic. But we're getting all that fixed. And Doug says both of them are hot. So we're working on all that right now. But if this is your first time here, I do want to let you know that after the stream is complete, we do put timestamps down into the video description. So if you are looking to see the types of things we talked about in this stream, you can find all that stuff down in the video description. Hop to the part of the stream that you want to listen to the most or that you want to watch the most. And if you really want to just learn a bunch of stuff and have a good time while you are learning about YouTube, just sit back, put this on in the background, listen to it, and you'll learn a nice amount of stuff probably by the time this is all finished. So,
fun fact here, we did an audio check, all the levels matched up, but what did I say before we went live? I said StreamYard's being a little bit wonky right now. And StreamYard...
Yeah, go ahead and blame StreamYard, D.
I'm going to point the finger at you right now, StreamYard. No, we're using StreamYard right now, a great product, but everything balanced out. But every now and then, you go into to go live, and the settings visually match. But people go, oh, my ears, you've blown it out. Looks like we're good. Looks like we're good now. So let's get into some YouTube news.
And when I was scheduling this, because we were talking while I was scheduling this over dinner, and I forgot to put it to Twitter and LinkedIn also.
Okay.
So it's one of those days.
We're off to a great start.
We're all YouTube today. So we're going to get some YouTube news. So when it comes to YouTube, here are some updates for you. So the very first thing is that voice replies are now rolled out. I have a video about voice replies, how to use them. Super simple. It's like a 2-minute and something change video. You can find that on my channel. It goes through, how it works, where to find it, and all of that stuff. In that particular video, I did make a mention saying that at that point in time, the channels that I had looked at, it wasn't showing up in the channels that weren't in the partner program. But now you can also get it if you are not in the partner program as well. So disregard that part if you watch the video. And you can also answer YouTube community posts through the comments as well, or through the voice replies if you do it through the YouTube app, but not the YouTube Studio app unless they've updated that. In addition to that, the YouTube Create app, where you can edit YouTube videos, is now available on iPhone. Previously, that was something that was just out for Androids, but now they have an iPhone version. So if you've been waiting for that, now is your opportunity to go, check that out. It's going to help you be able to just kind of, edit on your phone, which is great. In addition to that, we have that Super Chat goals are rolling out on vertical live streams here on YouTube. And previously, they were locked into the, what you're watching right now, the 16:9 aspect ratio streams. But now you can also, add those to vertical live streams as well, so that your vertical viewers can also participate. In addition to that, we have image posts in the Shorts feed is rolling out. So I don't know if you have access to this yet or not, but as this feature, you can upload up to 10 images into the Shorts feed, and then people can scroll through those images. So with those, you can share whatever it is that you want in those, as long as it fits into the YouTube, or as long as it doesn't violate the YouTube community guidelines. And when it comes to that particular feature, keep in mind when YouTube rolls out stuff like this, sometimes there's not a lot of people that are using those things, and it can be advantageous to be an early adopter to some of those things. So if you're like, hey, I think, normally I put some image posts up on Instagram in my reels there, so let me try doing it on YouTube. Now would be a great time to experiment with that on your channel. In addition to that, inside of image posts, Nano Banana is also going to be available for you to edit your images as well, which is fantastic. So if you are somebody that is familiar with Nano Banana, you already know the power of it and know how advantageous this is to have this built right to YouTube.
The power of Nano Banana.
The power of Nano Banana. With this thumbnail for this live stream, basically I just uploaded the thumbnail, told Nano Banana to put me in a sweater with a Christmas sweater, Christmas Santa hat, and to put a snow cap on the YouTube logo. And then, if you saw the thumbnail for this, that was the end result, which is pretty cool. And yeah, you're going to be able to do all types of image manipulation like that super easy now inside of the image posts.
I'm curious, how are we feeling on AI? Sound off in the chat. Let us know how you're feeling with AI. Are you using AI in any capacity for making content, helping you find ideas, helping you with thumbnails, video creation? Are you using AI in any way, shape, or form? Or are you drawing the line? I'm seeing a lot of pushback.
Drawing the line? Yeah, me too.
I didn't expect pushback to be so hard. I thought, okay, the majority of people are going to accept this.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of pushback on AI.
Yeah.
A lot of creators who are talking about AI, the comments are just eating them alive for using AI. And I that kind of took me by surprise. Yeah. I'm looking at AI as a tool. It's a creative tool.
Yeah.
It's no different than a video editor. In my eyes, it's no different than a video editor or something that's going to help you, an EQ, like Adobe Enhance.
Yeah.
Right. You upload your audio track to Adobe Enhance. It does. AI will listen to it and fix all the EQ curves and add compression and adjust the volume, does noise reduction and all of that. So I think AI is fantastic. Of course, there's AI slop out there. There's some people are just creating AI slop. By the way, did you see, speaking of AI, Disney is now issuing strikes on people using AI to create Disney characters and putting them up on social media.
Yep.
So if you're one of those brilliant people who was early to get in on the Stormtrooper vlogs and all of that,
we're in trouble.
Yeah, I'm going to pour a little bit out for the homies.
Yeah,
because it was good while it lasted.
And what's funny with that, or it's kind of a negative with that, is when YouTube first rolled out, and it might still be available. I don't know if they've put the guards on this yet.
Yeah. But
remember when they first rolled out Google VO to the short shelf?
Yeah.
And we were experimenting with that. We made like Mickey Mouse. We made Donald Duck riding a skateboard and some other things.
Yeah.
And those were permitted then. So if anybody did that kind of stuff at that time, they might have Disney to deal with. So just keep an eye out for that. And this is just one kind of learnable moment in terms of, that's one of those situations where people were doing it and it seemed like it was okay to do. But now Disney's coming back and they are, coming after people for that, issuing strikes, those types of things. So because of that, when you see other people doing something on YouTube, it doesn't always mean that, it's going to last. And it doesn't always mean that it's the right thing to do.
So my thoughts on that,
Yep.
and I'm not instructing anyone here to do something that's questionable, but I believe that if you have the ability to execute an idea with speed before everyone else, I think there's something to be said about those people that identify those things, and they're like, I don't care what the consequences are. I'm going to make this now and get whatever I can get while I can get it. You're early in, get the thing, and then if you get terminated, you get terminated.
Yeah.
I see people doing that with music, AI music. I see people doing that with AI generated content, and I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, kudos to them because they had. Let's take the Stormtrooper vlogs for example, and I don't know if they're still online or if they've been taken down yet. But they had to have thought, okay, I'm going to make an entire channel around protected intellectual property. From Disney, they are going to come after me at some point.
Yeah.
And they did it anyway.
Right.
So whatever they made, however much money they made, whatever they sold or whatever, it was probably worth it.
Right.
Long term didn't work out.
Yeah.
But short term, I tip my hat to you.
Yeah. So really quick on Nano Banana, because we were talking about that just briefly as well. So Late Apex Garage said that they removed it from Gemini. So all you have to do is hit create image inside of Gemini, and then you'll see it inside of there. So it's possible I'm seeing it because I'm on the, what's it called, the Ultra or whatever. So it's possible that I'm seeing it because of that. But you should have it inside of Gemini still.
The fancy pants plan.
Yep. And then in addition to that, comment summaries are also rolling out in YouTube, continuing the news here. Comment summaries are also rolling out in the YouTube Studio app on mobile. I'm not sure. How do you guys feel about comment summaries? So basically how this works with comment summaries is it looks at the conversations that are being had in your comment section. It just gives you kind of an overview of, kind of what people are saying. What do you think about that?
I'm weird about this overview thing. YouTube is using AI to summarize the video underneath. So you can just, okay, well, here's what the video is about. So
Not a fan of that.
I don't need to watch the video now.
Yeah.
So I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah.
Summarizing the comments, I just think that's weird.
Yeah.
Like, why are you summarizing the comments?
Yeah.
Like, why don't you just want me? Why can't I just go down there without you telling me what I should think before I go down there and just engage in whatever's happening in the comments? Maybe I want to go down there with no predetermined thought other than my own and find something that I want to reply to or leave my own comment. But by you summarizing this, you are essentially planting a seed of what I should think before I go down and leave a comment.
Interesting.
That's how I view it. I think that's weird. I'm not a fan of that. This is one of those moments where I'm just like, okay, AI is great in certain areas, but that's one of those things where I'm just like, you know what? How about you just let us leave comments?
So I don't know.
We don't need how does that help me as a viewer?
Right.
Summarizing the comments.
Well, it's not. It's for creators.
Still.
Yeah, it's for creators.
How does it help me?
So
it doesn't.
So one thing that I think is interesting about it, and I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing, but one thing that is interesting is because YouTube does use AI to determine everything on their platform in terms of how people are reacting to stuff, it might give you some insights on how, and I don't know if they're connected. I'm not saying that they're connected. I'm just saying there's a possibility there.
Right.
To where it might give you some insights into how their system might be seeing what's happening with that particular video. Right. So because of that, I think there might be some value in it, like a loose kind of value connected to that. But overall,
to see if you're on target.
Well, just to see, like, you know,
finger on the pulse.
Like, does it like is this AI saying that people are unhappy with this video in my comment section, or is it saying that, hey, generally people seem to really enjoy this video, like those types of?
But do we really need that?
Right. I know, but I'm just saying it's just a little bit of extra insight that you might be able to use, if there's even any connection. Right. This is theoretical here. I'm just saying that, you know, they have one thing that is that's looking at all this stuff anyway. So this might just be giving us a little tiny peek behind the curtain in terms of, what it's what it's picking up.
Okay, that in mind, let's say you put a video out and the comment summary is like, oh, these people are not really happy with you. Like, what are you going to do about that?
Right.
You're going to remake.
Well, it's too late.
You're going to remake the video.
Right. But if it was these people seem to be unhappy with, and then fill in the blank, it might let you know if that thing is something that you can tweak or modify. It might let you know that that particular thing is something that maybe you might want to think about or consider when it comes to the next video that you make, if your community or the people interacting with the video were unhappy with it.
Yeah.
If you're trying to please the crowd. If you're not trying to please the crowd and you don't care, then it doesn't matter. But if you are trying to, please the crowd, then that might be something that would be, of value in some way.
Yeah, I think pleasing the crowd is tough, though.
It is.
Because a lot of times
you can never please anybody.
You can never, you can't please everybody. I know a lot of times, like, I can run a poll on my channel and say, hey, would you prefer this, 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 or this? And that only helps a very small percentage of the people on my channel. That doesn't apply necessarily to new viewers. People don't know who I am yet. Right. So you kind of have to take all of that stuff with a grain of salt. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I'm weird about these summaries in general. I'm really weird about that. What would be?
I don't like it on videos.
What would be more helpful to me as a creator is for AI to watch my video, look at my audience retention, and instead of making me figure out what I did wrong, give me some idea. Like, hey, they're dropping off here. We've analyzed your video. This is probably why they're leaving.
Or it could be, because I'm sure there'll have to be, guardrails on how they frame all that stuff. But
they can look at your
script.
Could
be this, or next video consider this, or something like that.
Yeah, we noticed here you seem to repeat yourself a couple of times, and that caused a reduction in audience retention.
Yeah.
For your next video, try not repeating yourself, or try getting to the point faster. Like those sorts of things would be really helpful. Yeah. We've talked enough about AI.
Yeah, really quick, though, Jerry has an interesting perspective here. He says that for mental health, some creators stay out of the comments if it's way off track. 100%, but I think those people are probably not going to the comment section anyway. Like, if it's something that, like, if you're going to be impacted by what's happening in the comment section, you're probably going to be equally as impacted by a summary also there. So that's an interesting perspective, though, in terms of, why that might be in there. I think it's interesting.
Yeah. Hey Tish, how you doing?
Yeah, hey Tish.
That is interesting. Like, here, we're going to summarize these for you, so you don't so you don't have to wade into the depths of hell to see all the terrible stuff in your comments.
Right.
So
I wonder how that works. I wonder if people are like,
depths of hell. It's overrated. It's totally overrated.
No, I wonder how it works to where if it's like if your comments are overly negative, if it says something like hold on, if it says viewers really think that shirt you're wearing is stupid, Like, I wonder if it'll say things like that, right?
69% of your comments said you have a stupid looking punchable face.
Right.
That would be great. So for those of you who
I wonder if you could kind of engineer comments like that in your video. Just be like, hey, just leave a comment that says this, just to see what the end result would be.
Right.
Yeah, on how the AI would interpret
so
that.
listen, can like 300 of you leave those sorts of comments under my next video?
Right. Just say this so that we can gauge how it's going to interpret this negative information.
TikTok has an interesting, I don't know how many of you are uploading over on TikTok, but they have a feature that will identify online bullying and negative comments, and it will actually hold those and get them out of the way. Like, you don't even see them. It will let you know that I forget what the exact wording is, but it lets you know that they've identified, I think they call it bullying, like cyberbullying or something like that in your comments, and they've removed them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And you'll say, oh, okay, so people are acting up. People are acting fools in my comments over there.
Acting a fool.
Acting a fool. Yeah.
Yep. How we got here says false promises in the thumbnail. Where's the sweater? And Shirley D has one. D's got a whole closet full of Christmas sweaters. He actually wears those most of the time, except around Christmas and not on live streams.
Yeah, going live, I'm always just kind of put on black or some sort of a dark color when I go live, make videos. That's my jam.
Yeah.
All the other times around the year, Christmas sweaters.
Christmas sweaters.
Yeah. Those of you who met me in real life.
He's out in 1,000-degree Thailand, heat and humidity, wearing a Christmas sweater.
Those of you.
A wool Christmas sweater.
Beanie Draws and Charlie, Midnight Madness 4x4, and Tish and Doug Hewson. Everyone who's met me in person can confirm that I always wear Christmas sweaters. Doesn't matter what time of year it is.
Oh, love it. Love it, love it, love it. So, so now we're going to get into the actual questions. So if this is your first time here, I do want to let you know that we have a form down in the description where you can put your questions. Right now, we just have a few questions that are primed and ready to go. But if you have a question about anything it is that you're doing, you need feedback on your channel, anything like that, just go ahead and put it in the form that is down in the description. It's free to do. And you basically just click on the link down there and it will send you, send you that form. If you are watching this somewhere else, which I did turn on Twitter, and I'm not sure if it's actually going out over there or not, but just in case, if you are watching over there, then you can go to nickniman.com/ask and it'll redirect you to that same form that we are pulling these from on YouTube. But before I get into the questions, two things I do want to let you know about. Three things, actually. The very first is that keep an eye out for me on the vidIQ YouTube channel, on their podcast channel. I just did a really interesting and fun podcast with Travis over there. Yep, Travis MVP over there. Awesome. And so that should be coming out soon, so keep an eye out for that over on the vidIQ channel. In addition to that, you can see right up here at the front of the desk here, sorry about that, D, as D gets up to adjust something, that this stream is brought to you by Opus Clip. Opus Clip is a tool that you can use to clip your long form content into a bunch of short form content, either vertical content or mid form 16:9 aspect ratio. And in addition to that, they also have some really cool features like YouTube search, agent search, Opus search, to where you can load your archive into it. If you have a large archive and you can actually search for things, and then it'll make shorts out of those things, which is great, or mid form clips. And they have recently introduced Agent Opus, which is a standalone video maker to where you can load articles into it and things like that, and it'll put videos together for that. And in addition to that, as a part of Agent Opus, they also have a motion designer that is awesome. So their motion designer, you can basically just prompt what it is that you want it to make, and it'll make motion graphics for you. So they're still fine-tuning this. It's already pretty awesome, but they're fine-tuning it with like graphics, like adding social media graphics and things like that to it also. But a use case for this is that some people are using it to make some B-roll stuff for their videos. So if you're talking about a thing and you're like, hey, I would like to, have this type of graphic in there, they go in there and they type it out, and then the motion graphics tool puts it all together for them, and they can download it and add it to their video, which is pretty cool. But anyway, you can try all that stuff out for yourself. If you want to hook me up with an affiliate commission, go to tryopusnow.com. It's going to redirect you to Opus Clip. And if you don't want to give me an affiliate commission, that's fine too. You can just go to opusclip.com and you can see more information about all of those things. In addition to that, we keep having a lot of additions. We do, but this is thing number 3 though, because I said 3 things. If you could consolidate your additions, I think we'd move through this so much faster. I think so. I think you're right. But the last thing though is that Tuber School. So again, we are opening that on January 5th. We've already got a bunch of people in there, which is fantastic. Looking forward to working with all of you that are in there now. But we still have a 25% off promotion on that. So if that is something that you're interested in participating in, go to tuberschool.com and you can check out more of that over there.
I can't wait to get started with that.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited.
Yep.
So let's see here. And Shark Scrapper just mentions it right here. He says, let's see here. Thanks for the double super chats here. Appreciate it. Says, I just went over 15,000 subscribers. Oh, I think you sent it twice on accident. So, yeah, so it looks like I'm buying coffee next time, Shark Scrapper. But he says, I just went over 15,000 subscribers. So quick thank you for all that you've taught me over the years. Looking forward to what I'll learn in Tuber School.
Love it,
High
man.
five and fist bump to you for crossing that 15,000 subscribers. And I definitely owe you a coffee for that second one that I think you hit the button twice for on. So I can PayPal that to you if you want. On that second one, just let me know.
Love it.
So let's see here. So now, as we go ahead and get into the content of this stream, the stuff that you came in here for, besides D, because everybody comes here for D, of course. The very first question.
You don't even need to say that.
I know. Everybody knows. I know.
We're all friends.
Yep.
We all know why we're here. Make fun of this guy.
Yep, that's right.
So you guys just want to clown him the entire time. Just feel free to do that in the chat, and I will highlight your clowning statements whenever he's speaking.
But yeah, I just dropped a link to the forum here. So if anybody has a question, you can go ahead and drop it in there right now. So Tim Cruz says, do I have time to submit my question? Absolutely. We just have a few questions in there right now. So if anybody submits a question in there now, you're definitely going to get it answered on the stream today. So here we go. Let's do it. Okay, so the very first question here is from KD Gone Crazy. KD Gone Crazy. They upload when they have time, but on YouTube for a year or more. The type of channel says, I don't really have a full-on specific niche. I just play whatever games, really. So you have a gaming channel. The goal is to have fun. And the question is, any tips or advice on coming up with a style that's instantly recognizable, meaning in terms of thumbnail, title, and editing? It's something when you ask a fan, they instantly know who that person is. For example, Mr. Beast or Ryan Trahan. So the very first thing is, and Dee mentioned this also, the very first thing, and they leverage this also, is your face. If you put yourself in the thumbnails, then that is one clear way to let people know that it's your content. In addition to that, if you look at Ryan Trahan, you look at Mr. Beast, and other people who make that type of content, they also make stylistic choices around how they put their thumbnails together. So for example, like on Mr. Beast, he over processes everything and makes everything just really pop, way more than a lot of other people go through in terms of the effort that goes into that. In addition to that, like when it comes to Ryan Trahan, they also put a lot of effort into his as well. They're not as processed as Mr. Beast, but they're still, pretty processed. A lot of them are. Some of the old ones, not so much, but some of the newer ones, they are. And
I'm not a fan of his new thumbnails.
Who, Ryan or Mr. Beast?
Mr. Beast. Listen, no shade towards Jimmy, and I know they're effective, and I'm not his target audience. Right. But every thumbnail I see now just looks like AI generated thumbnail. Yeah. And I'm just like, but it works. Yeah. I'm not his target audience, so I'm obviously wrong here, but I just don't like it. Yeah. I don't like seeing the largest creator on the platform just put, I look at those. But it
works, though.
It works.
Yeah, he's doing it because it works. If it didn't work, then he wouldn't do it.
But it just looks so bad. Yeah. It's like, really, dude, you have access to the best of the best of the best, and that's what you came up with.
Right.
But it works.
But, that's what they came up with. That's what works. Right? That is what they came up with, using the best of the best.
But, what does that say about his fan base?
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
His target audience. How older is his target audience? Where it's just that just completely fake looking thumbnail. That's the one I want to click on. Right. Okay, here's what it is. Ready? It looks like somebody's trying to copy him. That's what it looks like to me. It looks like somebody's like, I'm doing a Mr. Beast clone. So I'm using AI to generate thumbnails that look like Mr. Beast. That's what it looks like to me.
Interesting.
There you go.
But yeah, so when it comes to your thumbnails, putting yourself in there is definitely a thing that you can do to stand out. When it comes to titles, with your titles, I wouldn't necessarily look at your titles as much from a branding perspective, because you need to do that, per video. And instead of looking at your titles as something that you would do for branding, some creators, they do put their channel name in there, but that doesn't really do anything for you, so you don't need to do that. When it comes to the editing, people do absolutely adapt editing styles to where, there's just certain ways that they do their videos that help them stand out, and that's usually also based around stylistic choices. The format of the video, most people will dial things into how the viewer responds to it. So in terms of the format of the video itself, you can start with something, but you'll probably end up modifying that based on how people people are responding to the videos themselves. So it's really hard to kind of get like a branded structure of a video until you figure out exactly what it is that people, respond to around your content. But when it comes to, the editing style, you can definitely do that with like colors. You can do it with like your set design, things like that, to where you can set things up in a way that, just kind of stands out.
Yeah, listen.
Differently from what other people are doing in your niche.
If you want to be easily identifiable, like you said, put your face in there. Your face is the most easily identifiable thing that you could possibly put out there.
Keep in mind, it can work against you too.
It can also work like if you
always lean on effectiveness over everything else first.
If you look like him, could definitely work against you. Look like me, absolutely work against you. But it might work in your favor. So you put your face. I would test that. The font choices, like you could use. It's everything working together, right? Your color choices, working with particular fonts, working with the particular weight of fonts, with or without your face, the way you might angle something, the color choices for everything else. Even if you go back and you look at Mr. Beast's thumbnails, even though they're all in him, he's in all of them, which you're like, oh, that's Mr. Beast, Mr. Beast, Mr. Beast. He's still going with a stylistic view where it's like, even though he's using like very vibrant colors, they all look like they're part of the same spectrum. Yeah. They look like they're part of the same color palette. So colors, font choices, the weight of the font, putting yourself in it, little design choices. Like one of the things that I do, and I've moved away from this because I used it for so long, and it kind of wasn't that effective. It stopped being effective. But for a very long time, all of my text was at a particular angle. I would write my text out, and I would make it crooked. That was very effective for me, and I used like bright greens and blues and bright yellows. And that worked really well for me for a very long time. And then it stopped working. So I had to like try different things. But all of those things can make you stand out, be identifiable. And really quick, Imperial...
Melinda Elliott, what's going on? Build and Fix with Mooney, what's happening?
Imperial Remnants podcast, a really good point. We were talking about Mr. Beast. He says, does it work, or does it work because it works, or does it work because of who he is?
A little bit of both. But here's the thing,
like
though.
If he was an unknown
here's the thing, though,
using that
They
thumbnail.
test the heck out of their thumbnails.
Right.
Yeah, so like...
But if you use that thumbnail, do you think it would work?
On me?
Yeah.
No.
So it's him.
Right.
That's what I mean.
Well, it's also the
style.
audience for that too, right? Like if you had somebody else making the same exact type of content, because his thumbnail is just one part of that equation, as you know.
Right.
So because of that, like if you had everything else that he also has in terms of the video content, and you had somebody of his influence, and you also had that style, then yeah, it should work in a similar way.
I believe that he could do any type of thumbnail at this stage.
Yeah, now.
No matter what he just like selfie, and like his fans would just be like, yes,
sure,
yes, I'm on it.
Yeah. So next up on our list here, we got World of KRS. World of KRS. They upload when they have time. Been on YouTube for a year or more. They do an art channel, mostly just being chill and having fun. The goal of the channel is to connect with others who like what they like. And the question is, any tips or advice for turning my phone into a camera? For instance, I have a Samsung Galaxy 15 5G, and I want to make it a webcam when I record on my gaming channel, but I'm not sure how to do it. D.
Yes, you can do it, but it's like, I need to know more about your setup. Do you just want to use your phone as a webcam and you're going to connect it to your PC or your laptop? I'm going to assume that you're using something like OBS. If so, you want to look at a plugin. I believe it's called an NDI plugin, if I'm not mistaken. And an NDI, it's a plugin that you put into OBS, and I believe Streamlabs has the same thing. I'm not sure if Meld has introduced that yet. Maybe they have, maybe they haven't. But it's at NDI, you have to use it inside of OBS. And the last time I used it, it was free. They might have a paid version now, but it used to be free. So it has to be turned on inside of OBS, and you have to download. Do you have it? Here you go. Where's it at? And you have to download for your phone, and it will stream it into OBS. How are we connecting this right now?
So this is an iPhone. So because of that, it's going to be different.
Well, your lens is filthy.
Yeah. So
holy moly.
Yeah. So I don't think it's the lens. I think it's actually just this effect that I have on here.
It's like bubbles or something.
Yeah. If I lose that effect, and I know that's even worse.
Oh my goodness.
Let me go with this one and see what that one looks like. There we go. That's clean.
He's using a Mac. So if you have a Mac and an iPhone, they will automatically sync up, and you don't need additional software to do it. And you can automatically turn your iPhone into a webcam.
Yes.
If you have a a Mac.
Yes.
So iPhone or an iPad and a Mac, everything syncs up.
Yes. Let me close this here really quick.
You can turn it off.
Yep. Okay. So next up on our list, and let me close that little tool right there. There we go. Okay. So next up on the list, we have
really quick. Sorry. One more thing.
Yep.
If you don't do it wirelessly, you can get a connection. You can get, I don't know what, I think your USB-C on the Samsung S15, I believe. You can put a USB connection into the right dongle, which could probably be a USB-C port into your machine, and then turn that into an actual camera source itself. So you'll have to have that plugged in wired, but you can do it that way as well.
Yeah, Jerry says that you don't need software for Android or Windows. So I guess you can just connect it straight through there. Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't had an Android in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So Android has a setting too that activates your phone as a webcam when you plug into USB. Okay.
When you plug into USB.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
right. Yeah, so what I was saying before was wirelessly. Last I checked with OBS, you did it through NDI. If Windows has something now that does it automatically, that's fine. Otherwise, you're plugging in. You're plugging it in from your phone to your computer.
Yep.
But NDI was great. We used to use that actually.
Yeah, I know.
When we used Streamlabs and OBS, we used to use NDI.
Yep. I think David Foster's the one that put us onto that.
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah.
Yep.
So next up, we've got the Rican Kid. And by the way, if you are just joining us, we are answering YouTube questions. If you have a question about anything you're trying to do, there's a form down in the description where you can put your questions. Free to do. And if you get it in there, we will get it answered on the stream. Here today. So the Rican Kid says that they have a gaming channel, but they're starting to do music as well, and in the future do IRL streams. They upload every other day, been on YouTube for a year or more, and the goal of the channel is to connect with others who like what they like. And the question is, when I stream, why is it that some days I have a lot of watchers, then some days I don't? Is it the algorithm or tags that I use? What can I do to consistently average a good watcher rate? So it comes down to the topic of the content. So it comes down to the topic of the content, how people respond to your content, if the people that you are, that are interacting with your channel, if they're online during those times. So a few things that you should do is you should go into your analytics and look at your audience tab. And then when you scroll down there, it's going to show you like a grid that's going to show you when your viewers are online. That is extremely important when it comes to live streaming. If you're trying to get as many viewers as possible, you want to stream during a time that that a lot of your viewers are online, so that when you go live, that there are people there to be there. So it tells you the days of the week and the times, and you can look at that and you can start to get an understanding of when people are online, and then you can adjust your streaming schedule around that if you want to. In addition to that, the topics of your streams are also going to matter, because when YouTube does recommend them to people, then YouTube, or then the people are going to decide if they're going to, come in and click on it or not. Other things that I would do, like in your case, you have these streams and all of them are named live Fortnite plays with viewers and Fortnite live playing with supporters. If you're trying to use these live streams to grow your channel, I wouldn't do that. Instead, I would make a dedicated purpose for each live stream. So instead of just playing with viewers, which is kind of up in the air, I would be trying to accomplish something with every live stream or something like that, so you can package it in a more interesting way. So the example that I like to give, especially around Fortnite, is that I'm gonna try to win Battle Royale with just just my axe or whatever the thing is, just those types of challenges, or I'm gonna stay in one area and try to survive just in that one area or whatever the thing is. And just on that note, pretty cool Christmas update that they have running over there in the Fortnite world right now.
Oh,
yep,
that's right. You play Fortnite.
Yep. So let's see here. So next up on the list,
do you pay for all the skins and stuff?
Every now and then I'll get a battle pass, just because we spend so much time on there. It's just a great thing. So I just do it as a way to be like, hey, thanks for the thing to do, right?
So you support them to keep the game
right.
Keep the game going.
So for that, it's like $20, like once every 6 months or something. So it's fine. And then there has been a rare occasion to where they introduce a new vehicle or something, and I'm like, oh, because when they in their store, they'll keep things for a limited period of time. And this happened to me when they dropped some Disney stuff too. So I wanted to get the Black Stormtrooper, the Death Trooper. So because of that, if you just play the game, you start collecting points anyway. But I didn't have enough when they did that, and I was like, I want that Black Stormtrooper. So then I put in $20 just so I could get that Black Stormtrooper.
And you get to keep that skin
yeah,
forever?
I got him for, yeah.
So anytime you're just like, hey, I feel like being
I roll with him most of the time.
Like, I'm going to be the Death Trooper.
But I've got a Mandalorian. I've got the Death Trooper. I've got a regular Stormtrooper.
Nerd.
I've got Spider-Man.
Nerd.
I've got the the gamut of
Nerd.
Of them. Yep.
Yeah, we weren't raised like this. You know, I didn't know my brother was going to turn out to be just some giant Fortnite nerd.
That's great.
But, you know, you do you, little brother.
Yeah. So next up, we have Friendly Filmmaker.
I'm more of a Grand Theft Auto guy myself.
Yeah, I love Grand Theft Auto too. Don't get me wrong. Yeah.
No, actually, I don't play that at all.
Friendly Filmmaker, they, let's see here.
Half-Life. I'm all about that Half-Life life.
It's been a minute since I played Half-Life.
Yeah, I'm all about Half-Life.
So yeah, Friendly Filmmaker. They upload 1 time per week or more, but on YouTube for a year or more. They do filmmaking for beginners on a budget. The goal of the channel is to be a full-time creator.
Love that.
And the question is, I have a subscription site off YouTube that I want to direct YouTube viewers to. I was wondering how you approach thinking about which videos go to the members only and what content lures people to YouTube to be able to want more. The idea is I want to offer value to members, but I also don't want to gatekeep too hard on the YouTube community. How to find the balance. So when it comes to the thing that you're trying to direct people to, you definitely want to make sure that you are adding additional value to that thing. So you do want to, like on your YouTube channel, you do want to, give freely. But when you are offering something else, you want to make sure that that thing does have its own unique value. In some cases, because you say here that it is a subscription site off of YouTube that you're trying to send people to. So I don't know what exactly you're putting on the subscription site, if it's just additional content or if you're offering, some type of service through that. I'm not sure exactly what it is. But the idea is to make the content on YouTube that will get you in front of the right people and just completely soak those people in value if you can. And then for the people that are the most interested in those things, as long as you're spreading awareness about it, then by freely giving through all of that, then you're going to be able to use that as a filter to bring attention to the other things that you do. So the method for that is to just make sure that you're spreading awareness about it. Make sure you have a link in your video description. Make sure that you have a link on your channel page in order to go to that in your channel links, and make sure that you do mention it in videos as well so that people do know that you have that thing available. Because sometimes people want to participate in things like that, but if you don't spread the awareness about it, then they don't know it exists. So because of that, it's really important to make sure that you do spread the awareness on it. And in terms of like what to offer, so if you are doing this, and we're going to kind of go into this one a little bit. So if you are using your YouTube channel for the sake of sending people into your subscription thing, then one of the things that I definitely would make sure that you do is that you do make some evergreen search-based content that does or that is going to match what people are searching for, so that if you can make the videos that compete for those terms, that people will be able to find those for possibly years to come. And you can use shorts for that. You can use long form content for that. And when you are optimizing things for search, in addition to YouTube and showing up there, as long as as long as the viewers respond well to the content, you're also opening up the textual search engines as well. So if somebody's looking for things around what it is that you offer on your channel that ultimately leads them into your subscription service, then in that case, you open up Google to where they can easily find you through that avenue as well. So when it comes to what you're offering on YouTube, there's being strategic in terms of the content that you're publishing there, in terms of the traffic sources you're going after and all of that, as well as how you're getting people off of platform. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of not trying to gatekeep too much. I do a little bit in the video content, but on the live stream, if somebody has a question and I can answer that question, then I just answer the question, right? And I'm not like, hey, sorry, I'm not going to answer your question. You're going to have to do X, Y, or Z in order to get an answer to that. I just give freely because I think that's the right thing to do.
There you go.
But some people, have other ideas. Some people think that you should use your content. I think it's, what's his name? He spoke at Vid Summit one year. His name's Marlon something. But anyway, he has a strategy. And he makes like boatloads of money. So, it's clearly a good strategy. But he has a strategy about using social media to share the why, in terms of why something's important, why you should do certain things and all of that, and then putting the how behind a paywall. That's his strategy for doing that sort of thing. But when you say that you have a subscription service, I'm not sure 100% exactly what that service offers. But hopefully that information helped you a little bit.
Really quickly,
hey Melinda,
here.
thanks for your support over 37 months. Go ahead, D.
Hey Melinda, thank you. Hey Diane, good to see you. I don't think you actually went live on Twitter. So you you added
I did it after the fact, so I wasn't sure.
No, I think you can do it right now, but I'll let you do it. If you just do the drop down, you can hit go live. You need to hit the button.
On X?
No, in StreamYard right now. Go to the X drop down, and you should see a button that says go live.
Oh, okay, nice.
It wasn't clicked.
Okay, got it. Yep, thank you.
Yep, now we're live.
Okay,
Okay.
cool.
I didn't want to hit that because I didn't know.
Yeah, thank you. I didn't know that you had to do a second button there if you did it after the fact. That's great.
Yep, there you go.
Yep, thank you.
I'm here for something.
Yep.
You bring me in here for something.
Friendly Film says evergreen content is epic. I had a video I posted last year that's still performing. Amazing, super advice. Thank you for answering my question. I always try to give as much as I can. Thank you. Yeah, so one of the things when it comes to evergreen content is, if you do make content, and I should do more of this as well on my channel, but I don't, is it's really smart if you're like in that phase where like, hey, I'm trying to grow as much as I possibly can, that you do work in as much evergreen content as you possibly can, because that becomes like the base of the channel where that you're always getting traffic on. And then from there, when you do make, recommendation plays to where, it's something that, might be timely, like, a trend or something like that, then you get those spikes, but then you still have that evergreen content, stacking on top of that. That's just always a good move. So next up, we've got, by the way, if you are just joining us, we are answering YouTube questions. So if you have a question about anything it is that you are doing on YouTube, I'm going to put this link right here into the chat box so you can easily find it there. If you are watching this on somewhere else, like we are live on Twitter now, or on X now, then just go to nickniven.com/ask, and it's going to redirect you into the forum where we are answering these questions. So next up, we have Big Al's Plan. And the upload schedule is when they have time. They've been on YouTube for a year or more. The type of channel is game and sim playing. The goal of the channel is to have fun. And the question is it true that YouTube has titles and thumbnails, or is it true that YouTube titles and thumbnails are really important? That YouTube is now using Google Gemini to analyze your whole channel so it knows whether or not to promote your channel and videos. So YouTube's algorithm has been in place for a very, very long time. So in terms of YouTube, like analyzing, your channel and all of those things, YouTube looks at tons of different things when it comes to the content that you're publishing. How often you upload is a factor. How people respond to those uploads when you do upload them is a factor. How much people typically respond to your content is a factor. So for example, if they're showing you on home pages and typically they can expect you get a lot of watch time in your videos, then that's taken into account. If typically you don't, that's taken into account. But yeah, they look at tons of stuff. They know everything that's happening around your channel, every video that you publish, every thumbnail that you publish. They know everything about everything that's happening with your YouTube channel. So it's nothing new though. So their AI, their back end, YouTube's back end that runs this whole thing, like all of their different, algorithms that are behind all this, they have been analyzing content for a really, really long time. And one of the cool things about it is that in addition to looking at your thumbnails and titles, they also look at your captions. They look at your captions in other languages. If you do, multi-language content, they look at your videos frame by frame. So their system knows exactly what's happening in the video. So like it can narrow things down to like, hey, this is a woodworking shop, and in this woodworking shop there is like a bunch of plywood in the background, and it can identify things like that as well. So it's a very complex and in-tune system that they've developed, and it literally knows everything about your video. But one thing I just want to adjust the framing on though, in terms of how you're thinking about things. At the end of this question, you said, so it knows whether or not to promote your channel and videos. So when it comes to YouTube, YouTube isn't necessarily promoting anything. Instead, what YouTube is doing is it's using all that information that we just talked about to understand what your video is about, And then if people are online at that moment in time that are going to be a good fit for that video, and YouTube thinks that they're going to be a good fit, then YouTube is going to consider your video to show those people. And then from there, depending on how those people respond to that video in terms of, do they click it at a competitive rate? Once they click it, are they satisfied with the content? Do they watch it for a fair amount of time? Do they engage with it at all? You know, like what happens when they're watching the video? When the video comes to an end, do they watch another video? What do they do? Do they leave the platform? You know, like what happens? Like all these things are taken into account. And for the videos that get a really high response in terms of people click on them a lot, and they also watch them for extended periods of time to the point that YouTube system says, hey, this, based on everything we track, it looks like this viewer, or a lot of these viewers that are interacting with this content, that they're having a satisfactory experience, then in that case, they are going to show that content to more people that are like those people that are enjoying it. Now, where everything kind of falls apart is if you publish a video and the people that they start showing it to, they don't respond well to it, meaning that, you know, they show it to people and they're just not clicking on it because the title isn't compelling, or the thumbnail doesn't grab their attention, or you're doing something in the thumbnail that turns them away to where they're like, oh, that's weird, and then they just kind of skip past it. Or once they click into the video, they abandon the video quickly, those types of things. When those sorts of things happen, then YouTube system also detects that. And then YouTube system is like, hey, we're showing this to people, but they don't seem to be having a good experience with this. So what the system does then is it says, okay, so if they're not having a good experience with this video, instead of showing this batch of viewers more of this video, instead, let's shift this around and show them these other videos that people are responding to better. So then that way it makes, you know, it takes the full opportunity that it has within the recommendation system on any of the pages that it's showing content to people on. So when it comes to YouTube, it's not necessarily that it's, you know, looking for people to promote your content to. It's trying to match the viewers of YouTube with content that they are the most likely to enjoy. And if you can facilitate that experience, you make videos about really good topics, you're really good at getting people to click on it because it's clear and it's easy to understand that it's for them, and then they click into it and they have a really good experience with the video, then in that case, then you're likely to be serving YouTube's goals, and then in that case, you're likely to have YouTube showing your videos to more people. And the higher all of that gets in terms of your video competing with other videos in their system, the higher your videos compete, the more of everything you're going to get when it comes to YouTube. Okay, next up on the list here, we got Ryan Malcolm saying evergreen content for the W. Absolutely. Beanie says dinosaurs will always be evergreen. Absolutely, they will. Oh, love it. Yeah, and Beanie also says my evergreen content still gets views after 10 years. Yeah, some of mine does too, just not at a high rate. Let's see here. Hey, my pleasure, Big Al. And Sly Went Walking says, I don't have many viewers, but those that do watch more than 80%. Most are 12 to 15 minutes on average. Yeah, that's great. That's good. So next up on the list here, we have Poke Fleet. They upload one time per week or more. Been on YouTube for a year or more. They do Pokemon TGC cards and pack openings. The goal of the channel is to make money. And the question is, how do I grow my channel? And a little side note here, they're a collector, and they're also very fond of Pokemon content. So I see here, I see that you put your channel in here. Because, you know, one of the things if I'm pulling up your channel is that I ask, you know, other channels that are crushing it and in your niche, and the one that they put in here is Deep Pocket Monster. So Pat Flynn, who I know, he runs that channel, and I'm not sure if you got the Vid Summit replays or not, Poke Fleet, but Dan Norton, who is Pat's producer, he did a fantastic presentation at Vid Summit just about storytelling and how they weave stories through all the different things that they do on Pocket Monster, and, you know, how they have these recurring themes going through that people can follow along with. So when they happen, the regular viewers are, you know, excited about those things. Just a fantastic presentation. So if you are into that sort of thing, just hop into Google and look for the Vid Summit replays, and that particular presentation is probably going to add a lot of value to you. But one of the things that I see that you're doing just right out of the gate in comparison is you're just publishing, shorts right now. So you have one video that you published, a year ago in terms of long form content. And when you are comparing, your channel against Deep Pocket Monster, hold on, let me kind of move this over here, go to Poke Fleet. Yeah, so when you're comparing your channel against a channel like Deep Pocket Monster, you can see right here, just right out of the gate, they are uploading long form content here, and they are also telling a story here about this binder here that they're trying to fill up that weaves through all of the content that they're publishing. Where in your case, you published one video that was less than 4 minutes long, and you did this over a year ago. And in their case, their videos, like right here, this is an hour and 27 minutes long. So they are making content for people to sit back and watch on TVs, where you are making content for people to quickly catch, like maybe if they're in the bathroom or, something like that. And then same with the shorts, right? And I know that they also have their shorts channel as well. But when it comes to, this, what you're doing right here, I can't obviously see your retention or anything like that on these, but you're showing the card, so that people know when, if this shows up in the shorts feed, people know that this has something to do with Pokemon, so that's good. But this also, just on the thumbnails that you're choosing for these, if this does show up in on a home page or any of the other places that YouTube shows shorts, then it's also clear for people that are into, Pokemon, that this does have something to Pokemon or something to do with Pokemon. So you are doing well there. So in terms of what you need to do to make your channel grow, keep doing this. But I would also lean into, if you have the bandwidth or the time to do it, and the energy and the technical know-how and all that, then I would also start, just putting together some longer videos. And the reason that I'm telling you this specifically is because you're comparing yourself to Deep Pocket Monster and basically saying that you want something like this to happen. If you want something like this to happen, then you need to do similar things in terms of what it is that they are doing. And right now you're just focused on shorts by themselves. So because of that, yeah, bathroom content, Shark Scrapper. So because of that, though, just on shorts is perfectly fine. And I think, the approach that you're taking is okay, without watching the videos, because I can't watch the videos here on the stream. But in terms of what I'm seeing visually, I think these are pretty up to par. And by the way, just as a heads up to everybody, so just in case you didn't know, and I mentioned this a couple of streams ago, so Google has a new thing. If you're a Google Chrome user, they have a new thing here to where you can do split screen like this. So this isn't something that I've built. This is all built into Google Chrome now, to where you can right click up here at the top, and then you can click an option here. Right now it says arrange split view because I'm on the split view, but you can click on this to add the split view. And just as a quick tip for you, if you're somebody right now that is like, okay, I am, my channel's not doing that great right now, I recommend that you do this split view and you put channels that are doing great in your niche right next to yours, and you just start going and just looking through them, right? Like in this case, right? Like you can see here, Pat, he's in the thumbnail as the person. He's got, this book on here. He's got the question mark in there for, just a little bit of, curiosity. And we can see here, this one is just like a big color panel, right? So you get to notice little things like this, publishing, all of that stuff as well, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah, another thing I'm going to look on here. Nice. Yeah, so Pat's also publishing less because they're focusing on the long form content now. And these are these streams? Yeah, these are streams. Yeah, nice. Let me see if you're live streaming. Let's close this. Nope, no live streams over here either. So yeah, so he's over here trying to grow a community, right? Which is cool. And then, you're publishing YouTube shorts and just trying to get everything kind of rolling off of that. So yeah, so I would just, look at those types of differences in your case specifically and see if, see if you can come up with, additional things to do there. Okay, let me close that split view there. Okay, and boom. Okay, so next up on the list, we've got Tim Cruz. Tim Cruz uploads every other day, been on YouTube for a year or more. He does a tech channel and a shorts channel as well. The goal of the channel is to make money. And the question is, how can I get more views and monetize and get monetized by shorts or long form? So let's see what you have going on here. So I'm going to go into your channel. The local prepper project says, I didn't know you did channel reviews. Yeah, so basically we do these every now and then. I do live streams for them. I'll be doing a lot more of those in 2026. Like if you go to my channel page and then you hit the live tab, you will see there that that every now and then I do like a dedicated channel review stream. Usually they're on like a Wednesday or Thursday. And then while we're doing these live streams, if somebody does have a question, or they want feedback of some kind, then they can add it. So basically there's a form down in the description. It's free and you can put your question into that form. And if you do want feedback on the channel itself, then you just mention that there and you put your channel and then you put another channel that's thriving in your space. And then, I can, compare them. And then sometimes I don't need to look at the other channel. I can, to answer the question, I can just look at your channel. So if it's something that would need that comparison, you put that in there. But if it's just like, hey, feedback on my thumbnails as an example, then in that case, I can just give you feedback on your thumbnails. But it's still, in that case, it's helpful to have other channels that are thriving in your niche, because while I'm explaining things that you might be able to do with your thumbnails, it can help me paint the picture in terms of what other people are doing differently in order to, get those, get the results out of it. Daryl E's in the house. What's up, my man? Hope that you are feeling better. Hope that you're doing great. Merry Christmas to you as well. And thank you so much for your kindness and for the massive super chat. D would say hi also, but he's away for just a few minutes. He'll be back in here soon. But thank you for swinging by, man. I super appreciate it. Super appreciate you and everything that you are doing as well. So thank you. And thanks for the kind words. I appreciate it. Always nice when Daryl swings by. So let's look at Tim here and see what Tim's doing. So here I'm going to pull up a comparison channel. Okay, so here we go. And then let me go into this split. Yeah, we'll do split view here in a second. So basically, actually, let me take this down here really quick. So your question specifically was about how can I get more views and get monetized or monetized by shorts or long form. So what we're going to do is we are just going to go straight to your videos tab, and I'm just going to see what it is that you're doing, and we're going to start having that conversation there. So Tim's channel's pulled up here. And let's see what it is that you have going on here, Tim. So let's see here. Checking out Cricket plan for 2025. Which one is better or worse plans? Breaking news from Fortnite returns on Android and Google Play. Okay, so the very first thing that I'm just going to bring to your attention here, and this is really important when it comes to YouTube. Like, you've got 27,000 subscribers, which is good. But the problem that you have on your channel right now, or one of the problems that you have that is a real core issue when it comes to YouTube, is just diluting what it is that you're offering by having so many different offerings on your channel. So, for example, if we look at what's going on here, right? Right on this video, you're offering a Cricket wireless plan for 2025, okay? And that's your thing. And you're also framing this around 2025, which is almost over. So because of that, at the time of publish, this video is almost irrelevant. So I would definitely get that 2025 out of your title or switch it to 2026 if you meant to say 2026. But I would definitely get that fixed up. In addition to that, if we extend this out even further, we see that you have Cricket, and then we also have breaking Fortnite returns to Android on the Play Store. So with this, it is still phone related because you're talking about Android, which is okay. But what it is that you're actually offering here is something very different, right? Because here you are reaching people that, have Android phones, but they are also very interested in Fortnite, that they would be interested in clicking on, and watching breaking news content. And if that is who you're serving with this channel, then here you're doing those people a disservice by publishing this, right? Because this doesn't have anything to do about, gaming, Fortnite gaming, like anything like that. And then let's see here. New Infinity holiday deals. Yeah, so it looks like you actually are doing like a lot of these like holiday deal stuff and, T-Mobile and all of that and like a Cricket wireless plan. So yeah, so in this case, it almost seems like you're covering different like phone plans and all of that. So let's go a little bit higher here on this one. So in addition to, just kind of mix matching what it is that you are doing here with like that one and this one as an example, you are also catching people at a place where they don't need to come back to your YouTube channel. So here, like if you drive somebody over to T-Mobile for this holiday deal, then there's no reason for them to watch this Cricket video either, right? Or if you get them to Affinity for this holiday deal, hey, Daryl, you swung by.
Oh, I see that right now.
Yep.
Hey, Daryl, I don't know if you're still in here, man, but happy holidays to you.
Yep.
Thank you for all you do. I hope you're feeling better.
Yeah, he says, enjoy the Christmas break and let's crush 2026, 100%.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm so pumped
Hey,
up.
congratulations, Daryl. I saw something on Twitter where you were tapped
on
to
X.
The bird place, the X bird place
right.
that morphed into an X,
Yeah.
where you were tapped to be a leader in the church or whatever. So I think that's a huge honor. So congratulations.
Nice.
Yep.
So basically, like there's no real reason for people to want to come back. So what you're doing here is you're basically making a utility just for people looking for like phone plans. So what I would do is I would try to figure out something that you can offer here on this channel that would, that would give people a reason to come back. Maybe it could be tips on how to use their phone if you're targeting like Android users, maybe Android tips, something like that, so that you have some type of core reason that they would want to come back. And then as you notice these deals and things like that, if you wanted to continue adding them, then you could add those when appropriate, as long as it was a good fit. Like you wouldn't want to ever do it per se for an iPhone if you were covering Android stuff, but that might be a way to kind of build a little bit of a bridge to get people coming back to the channel, because I think right now you just don't have any like real reason for people to come back. But then we break it again down here. We've got like headphone content. Oh, that was 4 years ago. Okay, so I'm not even going to keep going down to that. Okay, so yeah, it looks like you've just been back to kind of publishing too. So couple things. One, what I would do right now, especially as we're moving into 2026 and you have an opportunity to, just kind of reassess what it is that you're doing, because around this time of year is when people, do a lot of that. What I would do is I would sit down with a piece of paper and I would start, or your computer, a tablet, whatever, and I would start thinking about, okay, this year, what is it that I want to, what is it that I actually want to do with my YouTube channel? Who is it that I'm wanting to make content for on my YouTube channel? And what videos can I make on my YouTube channel that's going to help me do what I'm trying to do, while also adding value to those people that I'm trying to reach with the channel, and start, kind of mapping that out and seeing what that looks like, so that this year you can dial things in that regard in order to like really start trying to make the channel something that people would want to come back for. People see as like a I wouldn't say evergreen, because you're talking about, like Android and stuff like that, where, some of those things will change over time, but they are evergreen for a period of time. So because of that, I would start working on that plan to, figure out a way that you can create something that will keep people coming back and you can start turning it into utility. But instead of just being like, hey, I'm going to publish this video, then I'm going to publish this video, just start looking through it in terms of, I'm trying to accomplish this. These are the people I'm making content for. These are the videos that I'm going to be publishing in order to serve these people that I'm making content for. And the more you can lean into that, the better off everything's going to go for you in 2026. There's a lot of nuance in that, but at the surface level, like that's the best thing you can do for this coming year.
Whole lot of nuance.
Mm-hmm. So next up, we've got.
By the way, if you are just joining us and you do have a question, we have a form that you can drop your question in. You can get to that down in the description. We're going to get to as many questions as we can today.
So next up, we got Switch Gaming. Switch Gaming, they upload 1 time per week or more. They have a gaming live stream. The goal is to make money. And the question is, I do vertical live streams for YouTube and TikTok. Should the vertical stream layout for the gameplay have a zoomed in gameplay, or have a full gameplay, no crop? Any advice for the best layout for a vertical stream, including face cam? So
that's a good question.
Yeah, it's a really good question. And one thing I would experiment with is I would experiment with, if possible, to where you have a zoomed in version. See, this is going to be complicated with the face cam.
Yeah.
I guess you could do a 3-panel if possible and have, kind of like the regular zoomed out version in the middle. I'm not sure what you're streaming with. If you're streaming with Meld, they let you do custom layouts like this. OBS lets you do custom layouts like this. Ecamm, I believe, lets you do custom layouts like this. You might be able to build this in StreamYard and some other web-based softwares as well, like EVMux. But basically, have the middle one as the full, layout that would be zoomed down that way. Have, the bottom your face cam if you want the face cam on there, and then have the top one a zoomed in version of where you're actually playing. So then that way the viewer can kind of see what's happening there. And when it pops up in the feed, it's interesting because there's a lot going on, right? So that people can just kind of look around, try to, figure out what's going on, and then can zero into the part of the stream that they're wanting to pay the most attention to. So next up, we've got, that's a good question though. Very interesting question. Yeah, when it comes to like the live streaming setups, I think one of the cool things about some of these tools now is those sorts of setups used to be kind of complicated to put together, but now like everything's making it so easy now. Yeah, to be able to do those sorts of things. And I'm not sure, because I haven't used OBS in a while, but I'm not sure if they have the previews like Meld does. But Meld has a really cool preview feature to where, like, as you're building the scene out, you can see exactly what it looks like without having to go live. So you can be like, okay.
Yeah, they have that. They have.
Yeah,
remember
they
you
do.
have the studio and the OBS.
Oh, OBS for the vertical?
For vertical, I'm not sure, but I'm going to guess so because you have the.
Yeah, I know they had it for the landscape. I just didn't know if they had it for the vertical.
I haven't opened OBS in a while, but I'm going to guess yes.
But basically, in any of those, you can, build it all out, and then you can, make the call, and you can be like, hey, is this something that I would stop on? And if so, why would I stop on this? If I was, going to have the full zoomed out version, if I'm on my phone, would I be able to see that, right? Would it be, clear enough for me to be able to see, everything that I needed to, or do I need to have that zoomed in version as like not supplement, but like a addition to, the full zoomed out version, just so you can, build it out and start to work through that.
You know, one of the craziest things that I love running across, and it just kind of shows where we're at with attention spans for some types of content. Mm-hmm. I mean, people will sit through a 4-hour movie, so I'm not going to say attention spans.
Yeah.
Just attention spans, just normal people sitting there making like short form content. As you'll be scrolling across something, and you'll run into either a split cam or sometimes a triple cam setup, to where it'll be like somebody's playing a game, and maybe they're just running through something or whatever, and then the thing underneath it will be like text, where there'll be a voiceover reading something about something completely different, reading something out of a book, or reading quotes about something, and then there'll be something down at the bottom that's completely unrelated to both of those. So you have 3 different things happening all at the same time, and none of them relate to each other, and it's for like 30 seconds, and you're just like, really, is that where we're at now?
Right.
But it works. Yeah, totally works. I think because it's so different.
Yeah.
Right? I guess that would be like a cognitive dissonance loop almost. Right? Like, it's like, maybe because you're pausing to figure out what's going on. Like, well, what is happening here? Why am I looking at this and this doesn't match and this doesn't match? But yeah, it works. Some of them have huge views.
They do. So Damaris Antonia is the next channel here. They upload every other day. The type of channel is shop with me in store like home goods, sharing home decor and seasonal decor. The goal of the channel is to be a full-time creator. And the question is there anything that I should change to gain subscribers and views, like thumbnail ideas or even a different way of doing these types of videos? So let's see what you got going on. Let's see what's happening. All right, let's go ahead and get this pulled up. Boom. Okay. So let's see here. So Demarius Antonia, they do. Okay, so a few things here, really quick. So right now on YouTube, and I don't know if you're doing this already or not, but right now on YouTube, you have a really cool opportunity to learn, what people respond to when it comes to your content. And when I see these, I like that you do have like the home goods text in here because it gives me just a general idea of what's going on, but it's a little bit hard to read, as you can probably see on my screen right now. If it's big, and it shows up big somewhere, it's fine. But anywhere where it's just a little bit smaller, it starts being a little bit problematic to read, to the point to where, it's probably better here if I zoom in, and then if I zoom out, you can see how it gets a little bit challenging there, especially on this one, which I think it says TJ Maxx over here. So because of that, I would just be a little bit cautious about the fancy text, because as in a mobile feed, this is going to look fine. On home pages, this is going to look fine. In some suggested videos and some devices, it's going to look okay. But when it comes to YouTube, it's helpful to just make sure that the text is really easy to read if you're trying to leverage the text for attention. Another thing that I want to just mention here is that when it comes to your thumbnails, they are also challenging when it comes to trying to figure out what's in there. So I think having the home goods on here is good, but the all of the stuff that's going on in the background, I think, I would experiment with these, and I would run an A/B test on YouTube for these, to where you're focusing on, what was the title of this? Home Goods Shop With Me 2025, all new home decor finds. Okay. So yeah, so I would definitely, we're going to talk about something else here in a second, but that I just noticed with that title.
Here we go.
But when it comes to this, though, I would do A/B tests on, is there something different that happens in terms of the response if I have a cluttered thumbnail like this compared to if I upload a thumbnail that maybe has just one of these shots in it, to where, it's just one shot. It's a little bit easier to make out what's happening with the thumbnail. I would definitely run those tests if you're not doing that, currently. The next thing I want to talk about is how you're framing some of this stuff. So right here, just like the mobile channel that we looked at here just a few minutes ago, you can see here how you have Home Goods Shop With Me 2025, all new home decor finds. So you might be making this because you might be using a tool that suggested this title to you, and because of that, you put it in here just because it gave you a high score or something like that, because a lot of creators, get into that situation because of the scoring tools that are out there. But you might have also just made this, because people, have searched for this and those sorts of things. But right now, because we're, a couple weeks away from the year ending, I would definitely not put 2025 in your titles anymore, unless it was some type of, recap or something like that. But even then, it makes the content dated before it even really gets a chance to get legs. So because of that, I would definitely get the 2025 out of your title and just have it as a Home Goods Shop With Me, all new home decor finds or something like that, without the 2025 in there. Another thing that I want to share with you about your title is YouTube put out information. They put this information out. It's been a few years now, but I'm going to share it with you anyway. So one of the things that they mentioned, and you can actually see this also in some of their documentation if you go into the Google Help pages, to where they mention not to use all caps in your titles. So if you're using caps in your titles, you should use them to emphasize words, bring attention to specific, things in your titles that might stand out to the viewer, that kind of thing, versus just having all caps. And the idea behind that is because it kind of suggests that you're yelling is one thing, but also from a readability standpoint, which is really important on YouTube, the readability kind of drops when you're using all caps like that. So because of that, I would also do some experimentation to where you're using YouTube's title testing tool, and you have the same title, but you have one lowercase and one uppercase, and do this on a bunch of your videos, and you'll start to see, do people respond to my content better if it's lowercase compared to all capitals. And then that's also going to, or title case, or whatever other version of it that you do compared to the all caps. And through that testing, that should start to, over a series of videos, that should start to give you the answer on what it is that you should do moving forward in terms of your capitalization and all that. But when it comes to the 2025, I would definitely get that out of there. And I actually just published a video on my channel too that you need to check out too around this whole idea, because I see you're doing the 2025 thing down here is in that video, in this video. So this is something that you're doing a lot. So because of that, now that we're at the end of the year, this content is about to be dated, like instantly. And as soon as we cross over and we're not in 2025 anymore, then people are going to start disconnecting from titles that have 2025 in it, because it's going to feel like it's an old video and they shouldn't, there's like it's not something new and relevant anymore. So because of that, either now or as soon as we flip over into the new year, I would go through and I would either remove these titles or I would update them with the 2026. But since you did it in 2025, probably not the best move to update them to 2026. But if you wanted to on something more current like this, I think it's okay. But if you have a bunch of older videos that say the same thing, then I wouldn't do that. Let's see here. Yeah, so on your thumbnails, those are the things that I would work on there. Another thing that I would experiment with here on yours specifically is I would also do a lot of experimentation on text or no text.
Yeah.
And that text, I would experiment between things like, you see how you're doing the locations here. You have Hobby Lobby, TJ Maxx, Michaels, Marshalls. I would experiment there too in terms of A/B testing between these, saying, okay, if I do it around the store, does it grab more attention than if I do it around what it is? So, for example, this one's like a shop with me. So I would experiment between Hobby Lobby and shop with me, TJ Maxx and shop with me, right? And just see if you notice a difference or if the data tells you that people respond to one over the other. So I would basically, I would experiment a lot with your thumbnails because people are responding to the content. That's why you're getting views, right? They're responding to what you're doing, but you can definitely dial things in on this. So because of that, I would just do tons of experimentations on how you're actually presenting this to see if you can, get a higher response to it in terms of people clicking on it in the first place. Just adding clarity to it is what I would go for. Yeah, even this, right? Experimenting like home goods against new home decor finds or home decor finds. So we can keep it short, keep it 3 words. Home decor finds. So then that way it's more about the topic than the store. And some of this even applies to your titles. So if part of your thing is the stores themselves, then you might want to keep rolling in that direction because it looks like a lot of these have the store names in them. But one of the things that I would also experiment with is, does it open my content up at all if I do a shop with me and I talk about the subject of the shop with me instead of isolating everything down to the store itself, right? So then instead of it being about people that care about home goods, in the locations where home goods doesn't exist, if you do it around the topic, then those people would also be able to enjoy that content and it would be relevant to them without having to even know what home goods is in the first place, right? So I would do a little bit of experimentation around that as well, so that you can figure out if you can open it up to a little bit wider audience for these. Like I'm pretty sure when it comes to the US, I'm pretty sure Target's everywhere. I think TJ Maxx is, but I'm not sure. But if any of these aren't available in some of those other places, then yeah, I would definitely run those experiments.
Test.
Yep. And while we're here, I'm just going to take a quick look at what you're doing. Yeah, another thing too, I'm curious. Like I'm not sure why you have the Home Good Shop with Me 2025, all new home decor finds. Yeah, and then you put like an actual description underneath this. So when it comes to video description, even though your video is going to carry, all of the weight and how it's, packaged and all that stuff, but even though that's going to carry the weight, like these things are also helpful to viewers. And you have the information in there, so that's going to be taken into context with YouTube also. But when it comes to, giving the viewers information that might be valuable to them, because, we're making content for the people that watch our content. So since we're making videos for people that, then having this information that you're hiding under the see more, I would move some of that up, near the top as well, just so they can get that, that context that they need. And just another quick thing that I just have to mention here, just because I'm here and I'm seeing it, is also remember that, when you are filling out your video descriptions, this is an opportunity that you should take advantage of. So it's true that not everybody goes down to the video descriptions. However, the people that are most engaged do. And for the people that are most engaged that do go down to your video descriptions, especially in your case, when they're coming down here looking for product links and things like that, you also have an opportunity here where you can send people into additional content on your channel. So one thing that you want to make sure that you're doing is when you are putting these videos together, like let's say, for example, since you're doing home goods, then you could do a playlist down here of recommended viewing. After you would actually put it, down here or up here, either one, but you would say recommended viewing or, watch these next, or you would say, here is, here's more videos of my trips to, or my what are these? My finds or my shopping experiences at Home Goods. Check them out here. And then you have a playlist going to more Home Goods, and then consider, also listing, you know, and here's my Target playlist, here's my Walmart playlist, here's my, you know, just kind of list down the whole thing. And then you can take that entire block and then you can put that across your videos. And then for the people that are really engaged in what it is that you're doing, to where they do come down here for product links and like all these other things, then it gives them the opportunity to watch more content, which gives you the opportunity to get more views, watch time, and revenue, and possibly convert that person into a subscriber if they're not subscribed yet, and at a much higher level. If they watch this video and then they click on those links in your description and watch more content, you're also increasing the likelihood that YouTube's going to recommend additional content of yours to those people as well, because it's showing YouTube that they're into what it is that you're doing. So because of that, I would make sure that you have all of that stuff set up as well. And this isn't something that's going to necessarily, move the needle for you in a major way or blow up the channel, but it's one of those little minor things that you're just missing the opportunity on. Is I would also make sure that in your videos that you are using pinned comments to do that same exact thing that I was talking about, to send people into playlists of additional content, so that if they're watching this video on home goods, that you can send them into more home goods content there, or other ways that you might break this down based on your understanding of your audience and what they come to you for and all of that. Linking to those and saying, hey, if you enjoyed this, watch this playlist on, or I've got more videos for you about fill in the blank here, right? And then you have a link to that playlist. And then by doing that, you're just making it super easy through your description, through your playlists, and hopefully you're using end screens, but you make it really easy for them to find additional content. And one more thing that I'm going to do on your channel is, and we're spending a little bit more time here just because, you've made some progress, already, and, you're getting some views on your videos and all that. So we're spending a little bit more time here on some things. But another thing that I want you to do is on your next video, and I actually just told somebody this. So I was looking at their YouTube channel. This was a, private off of YouTube thing. And I was looking at their YouTube channel, and they were doing the same exact thing that you're doing, which is, they get to the end of the video, the viewer gets to the end of the video, and then they hit this end screen. And then while this end screen is up, you still have almost 20 seconds left on the video. You got 18 seconds left on this video. And that entire 18 seconds is just an end screen with these videos on it. So because of that, your complete rate on this video is just plummeting. So what you want to do is, instead of putting this on here, and I know it looks pretty, and I know that it might be part of your branding and everything, but instead of doing this, I recommend that you instead put that information here, as your video is coming to an end, put those end screens there, and then tell the viewer to watch that video. You can do, you can link to a video, you can link to some of the same playlist that you're linking to in your video description in your pinned comment. But once you come to the end, hey, if you enjoyed this, home goods video, I've got more home goods videos for you right here on the screen. Go ahead and click into that, and I'll see you in the next video. And by doing that, what you're going to do is you are going to increase the complete rate of your video, so that as this is coming to an end, people know it's coming to an end, you give them that next step that they can take. And then by doing that, that's also going to help you get people watching more videos, going to help you with watch time, views, all of those things. So I would definitely get all of those things in order there.
Hey, Renee.
Renee Ritchie in the house. What's up, dude? Hope you're doing great.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Renee,
ho, 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 ho.
YouTube's creator, Liaison.
The old zone.
I feel like I need to drink when I say that. I want to be in New Orleans for Mardi Gras, trying to get beads up on a balcony, showing my man chest.
Liaison.
Yeah. Woo! Renee Ritchie down there, Liaison. Drinking it up.
That's funny.
Trying to get, throw me beads, Liaison. So he asked if there's any.
Goodness gracious.
That may or may not have happened.
Yeah.
Just want to put that out there. He asked, is there any spicy YouTube questions? I do have a question for you, Renee.
What do you got?
YouTube's creator liaison. Because I don't know the full story. So maybe you can add some clarity to this. On the former Bird app, the app formerly known as Twitter.
Okay. So it's a symbol now.
It is a symbol.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. The app
following in Prince's footsteps there a little bit, I think.
Yeah. The app formerly known as Twitter.
Yeah.
YouTube has been taking a beating over what people claim is in YouTube using AI to accidentally delete channels.
I think we need a myth-busting video for this.
Right. And I haven't dug into this yet, and I know you probably understand what's going on at a much deeper level. Can you just touch on that briefly and just kind of explain like what actually may have happened, what may have caused some of these channels to, that maybe according to them shouldn't have been terminated, but they were? Because I haven't gone down that rabbit hole yet. Lots of people at a superficial instead of deep attention. I think that was unrelated to something. I think he was talking about me trying to get beads. But yeah, I didn't get on that rabbit hole yet, but I just saw a lot of stuff show up on my feed, and I was like, ooh, there might be something going on. But I wasn't sure. I knew you would come in and set the record straight.
Setting the record straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, Neil says, I'm not sure what this
Neil.
is about, but he says, can we take a minute to congratulate Anthony Joshua for shutting a troll down? Yeah, I'm not sure if that, what that is in regards to.
Doug said he made 2 videos about that recently.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Nice,
well,
nice.
You know what? I should have known better.
Yep.
I should have known
Yep.
before I even bothered Renee.
Should have hit Doug up. Like, hey, Doug, did you make a video on this yet?
Yeah. Does Doug have a... There's your... Okay, listen, everybody. If you have a problem, here's kind of the
See if
order.
Doug has the solution for
Right.
it.
So, yeah, step number 1, if you're like, something happened, you're trying to figure out what's going on, new feature rolled out, how do I use this feature? Number 1, you check out Doug Houston's channel.
Yep.
If he doesn't have a video on it, then you move on to
my channel.
Then you move on to his channel. If he doesn't have a video on it, then you go to the app formerly known as Twitter, and you tag Team YouTube.
Yeah.
And if they don't see it, then you contact YouTube's creator liaison, and you try to get some beads that way.
Oh, Anthony Joshua is the Jake Paul guy. Okay, got it. Yeah, he
knocked him out,
and he broke his jaw apparently too.
Like really broke his jaw?
Yeah.
Like for real?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think he's like broken.
No.
I believe. I could be wrong. But I ran across that information. It's the internet. I don't know if it was true or not, but I ran across that information that his jaw was like physically broken.
Broken in 2 places.
2 places.
He says.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. Crazy.
I don't know Jake Paul, but I'm not a huge boxing fan.
Yeah.
But I'll say this.
Huge. I don't think you're a boxing fan at all, are you? Never in my life have I heard you say, "Oh man, I can't wait for this fight this weekend."
You're right.
Never. Not one time.
Do you not pay attention to me in any way, shape, or form?
Every weekend, you're like, man, you waiting for the fight or what?
Where have you been my entire life?
That's great.
Have you heard? Listen, I grew up in the era of Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield.
Yeah.
Like that is boxing as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Right.
So what I was going to say, what I was getting at before I was so rudely interrupted by my younger sibling, was that the moment Jake Paul beat Mike Tyson, and you see Mike Tyson look like he's pulling his punches and not like Jake Paul is just completely open, and Mike's kind of like not taking. I'm just like, I will never trust any of this ever again.
Yeah.
Like I feel like
but a broken jaw is pretty serious though.
But that wasn't planned.
Yeah.
You know that wasn't. He didn't.
Right.
You know he didn't sign up. I'm going to get my jaw broken.
Right.
Like,
all right, I want you to just hit me right here. Yeah, definitely not.
They're like Mike Tyson, even at 50 years old, should have just demolished that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, it shouldn't have even been like a fair. I mean, it should.
Right.
I don't wish this, but it's Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
With Jake Paul. No disrespect to Jake Paul, but like, and I wouldn't get in the ring with Jake Paul.
So Renee, it's a little bit of both. Renee. So Starbucks has these like Christmas cups. So he gets to celebrate Starbucks at Christmas with their Christmas cups.
Yeah, I wouldn't get in the ring with Jake Paul. He'd knock my block off.
Yeah.
But in terms of Jake Paul getting in the ring with Mike Tyson, even at 50 years old, I mean, you're moving into like WWE territory. Yeah. You know, with like the fake hits and like, you know, it was just so disappointing. And I think that's being a Mike Tyson fan. I was a Mike Tyson fan. I can't believe you didn't even know that. Yeah. Mike Tyson. I met Mike Tyson in Las Vegas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and being a Mike Tyson fan and seeing him in what I believe was him not giving it to Jake Paul. I just felt, man, what a terrible way to wrap up your legacy.
Yeah.
Instead of like going out on top, you went out as like the dude who let Jake Paul beat you.
Yeah.
Probably for money.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
But
Who
anyway.
knows? Who knows? I wasn't in the room when they were making the calls, so who knows what happened. Yeah. So, hey, really quick,
what do you guys think? What do you guys
says,
think?
I don't think it's true. I've seen the same channel talking about this. The ban number is actually much less than usual. Yeah, I'm not sure. That was on Dee's mention there.
For what? About what?
On the channel ban stuff.
Oh, he doesn't know.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, this is somebody else.
Oh, okay.
They said that they don't think it's true, and that they saw something that says that it's actually much less than usual. Yeah, I don't know either way. I don't know what their normal ban rate is, and I don't even know where to find that type of information when it comes to YouTube in terms of, I don't think they make that publicly available, to my understanding. I could be wrong, but yeah, I don't think they make that publicly available.
So Neil says, trust me, watch last night fight D. It was for real. Jake got taught a lesson. Well, I'm glad it was a real fight. It was a real fight. I'm glad because I don't want to harp on this, but like, combat sports, the last thing we want is like another WWE.
Right.
Like I get it. It's entertainment, but like, come on, man.
Horde of the Rings Metal Detecting is our next channel here. They do bi-weekly content.
Name. I love that.
They do metal detecting adventures in Ontario, Canada. The question is, I recently gained a minor sponsorship for my channel. Congratulations.
Way to go.
It's a metal detecting company. They've sent me gear to use and test in my videos. I'm not being paid, rather just supplied with their equipment. At what point do I need to click the sponsored advertisement tab before I post videos? So you say, thanks for any input that you can give. I want to keep in good standings as I grow the channel. Appreciate all the great advice over the past year. So our pleasure on the tips and whatnot. So if you want to stay in good standing, make sure that you do disclose that that you were given that device. So you do need to check the sponsored box, because they did give that to you. And when you are making videos about it, like after a certain point, if you're like, hey, I did the thing, I made, my review video and this, that, and the other thing, then in that case, I think there's a little bit of leeway there. But when if you make like a review of that thing or something like that, or it becomes like a featured component in your videos, being transparent about that and letting people know that it was given to you is definitely something that you should do. So as a part of that, marking that sponsored box, and also in the video itself, like if you're doing a review of it, saying, hey, they sent me this. So then it lets people know, like the whole reason the FTC requires all this stuff is because it lets people know that the information that you're sharing about that thing might be biased in some way because they sent it to you, right? Because you didn't have to pay for it. So because of that, yeah, you definitely need to check the box if they sent you that thing for your videos. Next up on the list, we've got the Little Mouse Production. Little Mouse Production, they upload one time per week or more. They do a kids, music, and animated storytelling channel. The goal of the channel is to teach others. And the question is, once I pass 100,000 subscribers, what should I realistically expect in terms of growth, revenue, stability, and opportunities? What changes at that stage, and what should I focus on to transition into a full-time creator income sustainably? So I love that you're talking about sustainability, because that's one of the most important things when it comes to being a full-time content creator. Because in order to do this for a long period of time, the approach that you need to take can sometimes be different than somebody that is doing it for fun, or somebody that is like, hey, I'm just going to do this grind it out for like a year or whatever, and then whatever from there. So the fact that you're already thinking about sustainability shows that you're on the right track and that you're trying to make the right choices here. So in terms of what you can realistically expect from growth, there is no real expectation. So everything is still just like it is right now. Everything is still going to be determined on the decisions that you make around your content. So, how often are you publishing to your viewers, how they respond to the content, what are your videos about? Are you able to package those videos in a way that people respond to? Are the titles compelling? Once they come into your video, how are people responding there? Like all of these things are still equally as important when your channel is large. The only difference is that you might have some built-in audience, by that point, or you also have a archive of content that, depending on your strategy for moving forward, or what you already have in place, that you might have some evergreen content that's, feeding the channel on a regular basis, and through those things, those do become advantageous, because with that evergreen content, as long as they continue to get views, if it's 10 views a day or 1,000 views a day or 10,000 views a day, whatever it is, then in that case, those are videos that are just feeding the channel with new viewers. And then when they come in, they enjoy that content. Then YouTube says, hey, these people are enjoying this content. Then they can recommend additional content from your archive and so on. So because of that, having evergreen content on the channel is definitely advantageous and can help kind of propel you forward. But at the end of the day, you are still going to essentially live and die by, the decisions that you make around your YouTube channel in terms of your, sustainability on your channel. But a few things that I do want to mention, and Renee mentions that I made into his top 5 recap channels, The Power of Knowledgeable Live.
Awesome.
Yeah, appreciate that. So when it comes to the, stability, so on the revenue side, because you mentioned growth and then revenue stability and opportunities. So opportunities will increase as you progress forward. So as long as, you keep all of your branding together in terms of little details, like for me, I always try to stay family friendly. And that is a consistent thing throughout my entire YouTube journey. And for me, the reason I do that is because it makes my content accessible to more people. And even though, I might, swear, things like that, off camera, that's just stuff that I choose not to do on camera because I want people to be able to learn about YouTube. If they're struggling, I want them to be able to learn how to do all this stuff, even if their kids are in the background. Or even if they're around an elderly parent that might judge them for, listening to something that has, profanity in it, those types of things. So because of it, I choose that. And, when it comes to the revenue stability, just make sure that you do have, that type of consistency with whatever your approach is. I'm not saying you have to be family friendly, but whatever your approach is, just make sure that you do keep that consistent. And when it comes to stability, it's also really helpful to not just helpful. I would say it's safe to say that it's a requirement that if you want to have a long-term career as a content creator, that you need to know how to monetize on platform, and you have to figure out something that you can do, preferably multiple things that you can do to monetize off platform. And the reason for that is sometimes you're making great decisions, everything's going great, and then sometimes you're not. Sometimes things happen. Like I know people, they have health issues sometimes and things like that, and it causes them to not be able to publish for a while and things like that. And then they have this kind of rebuilding phase that they have to go through. And when those types of things take place, if you, have off-site platform or off-platform things where you're making money from, then that allows you to be able to create a stronger foundation of sustainable income. So that's a critical thing if you are going to be a full-time content creator. And in terms of opportunities, like I mentioned, those will keep growing. And, and if people find value in your content and your audience, I should say, then as your channel grows, you'll get to the point to where you can open up your email and you'll have opportunities just waiting for you in your email box if you choose to take them. So that part is a pretty awesome side. But another thing on revenue stability is if you do start doing sponsorships, if you're not already, then in that case, it's also very advantageous when you do sponsorships, if you can. And not every company is going to do this, but the best approach, if you can do it, is to work out longer term deals instead of just doing like one video. Try to make deals where you do a series of videos, 3 videos, 9 videos, a video a month for a year, things like that. And then by doing those types of things, it helps, one, it shows your audience that you continually support that brand. And 2, it also keeps you off the hamster wheel of, trying to be like, okay, I gotta make sure I get some sponsors this month or else, whatever. It kind of fixes that problem as well. But try to find as many ways as you can monetize as possible if you want that, that revenue stability. Daniel Batal in the house. What is going on, my dude? Nice to see you in here. Andrew Can also Daniel. In the house. What's going on, fellas? Hope you guys are doing great.
Daniel and I finally connected. We're going to do our little...
Your unboxing?
We're going to do our unboxing
When's
soon.
it taking place?
We're going to schedule it out after New Year's.
Oh, okay. Soon.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah, it is.
And he said he's going to give his away.
Oh, nice.
So.
Nice. Oh, he's giving his play button away?
Yeah.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah, that's part of the thing. Hey, Larcia.
So really quick, Local Prepper Project says, thoughts. One other YouTube big advice channel says that you won't need a large following in 2026 to make full-time money. So everything comes down to your monetization strategy on your channel.
Yeah.
So and I'm not saying this to be, weird or anything, but on my channel,
I don't want to make it weird.
Yeah, like on my channel, just the way that monetization works, with what I do, I can make more on off of, let's say, 100,000 views than a lot of creators can make with millions of views on their videos. So it really just depends on how you have things set up on your end, the different ways that you're making money, those types of things in order to, generate revenue. So yes, it's true. So like I have a friend of mine, he made over $1 million off of his YouTube channel by the time he hit 30,000 subscribers, right? And it's because he was sending people into a high ticket program that he was, I think he charged, it's like $5,000 or $6,000 for his program. It's a sobriety program. And in his case, he sent, enough people over there through YouTube that he was able to, generate over $1 million off it before he hit 30,000 subscribers. So in terms of what's possible, people do that kind of stuff, and people have done more with even less as well. It's just that guy's just a really good friend, so I like to use him as a reference. But yeah, like, those types of things are definitely possible, but it really comes down to, how you, your strategy of putting all this stuff together and what you're going to do.
It's your strategy, and it's also not just views and subscribers. It's the right views and subscribers. Right. If you have hundreds of thousands of views and everyone there is looking for something free,
right,
it might be a lot more difficult to convert them in any way, shape, or form to ever get them to buy something than it is if you were doing something where you're targeting an audience that has. I mean, just think about it just from a realistic point of view. If you're targeting a group of people have income and are willing to pay for something, like that's a completely different demographic than I'm going after this thing that it's not going to cost anybody money. Therefore, I'm going to bring in a huge amount of people that are probably not going to spend money.
Right.
Or a good chance you won't spend money.
Right.
So you're just targeting the right people. It can definitely change how you make money. The right views matter. So, and by the way, I've made that mistake. I've made a lot of stuff on free things, and on those videos, the only way I make money on those free things is through ad revenue. Yeah, you can't. I can't sell anything on the free stuff, but ad revenue. For that.
And that's funny. I just answered your question here in the chat, but you also have one here also. The Local Prepper Project is the next question here. They upload 1 time per week or more. They've been making videos for 1 year or more. They do preparedness content. The goal of the channel is to make money. And the question is, how do I increase viewership? So let's take a look and see what it is that you're doing.
Let's take a gander.
Let's take a gander. So let me get this.
All right, here we go.
Up here.
Here we go. Let's address this for a second.
What?
I love these. I'm starting to lose hope on YouTube. No hate to you guys. I just think most advice is useless AF, and you need a lot of luck. And I have an entertainment channel. I don't have anything to sell. Let me say this, that if you come on to YouTube, well, first of all, let's back up for a second. If you are just making videos and throwing them and hoping that something's going to stick, right? I'm just going to throw a bunch of stuff up against the wall and hope I get lucky. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. But if you learn how to, first and foremost, if you figure out who you're actually making videos for and what that person wants to see, and you use your data and learn how to analyze your data to make future decisions, you will see movement with your channel. But it takes effort. It takes a lot of effort, and it's boring. It's not sexy, and it can be a lot of work to figure out, okay, why are people not responding to what I'm making? Am I choosing the wrong ideas? Is my title thumbnail combination bad? Am I losing everybody's interest in the first 15 seconds or the first 30 seconds? Like, there's so many things to look at. And if you're not doing that, and if you're not learning how to analyze those things, then you are just putting everything on luck. And if you are just betting it all on luck, you're probably not going to make it. So I would urge you to kind of reshift your thinking here and say, okay, well, what do I have to learn? And start paying attention. Watch his channel, watch Daniel Battelle. Pay attention to other creators who are teaching you how to write better titles, how to make better thumbnails, why thumbnails work, the psychology of getting people to click, how to get people to watch through that first 30 seconds. Learn that stuff. And apply it. Don't just watch the videos. Learn from the videos and apply what you watch and what you learn. And eventually, through trial and error, you will see movement. It's a process, but we all have to go through it.
Yeah, one of the things when it comes to luck is, like, if you believe that it's luck, then the approach that you're going to take is not going to be intentional, and you're just going to be waiting for luck to show up. If you're intentional, then you're going to design your own luck, because then you start learning how to make the right decisions around what it is that you're doing, and then you start designing your own luck so that you're preparing yourself, and you're preparing your channel and your content to where when YouTube does show it to the right person, that those people click on it, they have a great experience, they want to be involved with what it is that you're doing, and so on. You have to.
You have to learn the skills, and as luck would have it, the more skills you learn, the luckier you get. So, all right, moving on.
Plumbing inspired by James. Yep. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, he says that he's going to use the split screen advice that I gave earlier. Thanks for that insight. No problem. So another thing, and I'm not sure if you're a Chrome user or not, but if you are, hold on really quick. I'm going to put that one on screen real quick. If I can find it. Hold on. I think it already moved down too far. Hold on. Let's see here. Oh yeah, right here. So yeah, if you do like that comparison thing, so if you're a Chrome user, I have this tool that I made, and this is free, to where it basically, instead of having like a boring new tab when you click on the plus that just has like the Google logo, it basically turns your home tab into, or the new tab into like a command center for YouTube, where you can monitor up to 18 YouTube channels. It's got a little content pipeline over here. It can add like a to-do list over here. Keeps you up to date with like creator news. I got some educational content I put in here. Time stuff, channel links to where you can quickly jump to different aspects of or different pages of your YouTube channel. It's got the built-in search thing. You can search by, your favorite AI tool over here, quick link doc and all of that. But in addition to that, and I'm just going to do, on the same channel here to make this easy. But if you can see right here, if I zoom in, you can see this little A showing up here and this little B. So if I click on the A, then it locks in that thumbnail. And then if I come in and I click a B, and you can do this across channels. But basically, if you are looking at your channel or your thumbnails and you're comparing them against channels that are thriving in your niche, this just gives you a really clear and easy way to just look at them this way, and it shows the titles next to each other. And then you can scroll down, you can see how each one of them looks at a small size as well. And this just gives you an idea of like, okay, what are they doing that I'm not? How are they using their thumbnails to capture their viewers' attention in a way that maybe I'm not doing as well? And it just kind of helps you be able to, quickly be able to see those types of things. But you can find out more about this. And again, it's free. You can get this at creatordashboard.com. But with this, though, there is a little bit of a technical setup. And the way that I make it free is that you can add your own API key. So what all that is you just have to set up something inside of a Google account. And as soon as you set that up, then you can use it. But basically with that, when you first put it in, there is a tutorial. Takes about 2 minutes to get through and about 2 minutes to set up everything. And then once it's all set up, then you're good. You don't have to do it again. But it is a little bit technical when you go to set it up, and it turns people off. Like the amount of installs versus the amount of people that uninstall, I'm running pretty close to 50% on that in terms of the people that put it in versus the people that, take it right back out. Just because that technical setup, is a little much for some people, which is fine. But that's I'm able to provide it for free. Let's see here. So the local prepper. So let's look and see what's going on here. So the request here was how can they increase their viewership? So the very first thing looking at this is that from the outside, because this is what we're going to look at first, is that you don't have, and Jarek React says that the setup is easy. Awesome. Glad that you got through it easily. And thanks for saying that too, for anybody that's wanting to use it. But when it comes to, they do disclose information. Nice. He says they do disclose the termination information every quarter. I didn't know that. Yeah, I would love to know where I could find that information if you could let me know sometime, Renee.
What is that?
YouTube discloses information every quarter on the channels they terminate. It says last quarter was a spike, but not as big as some previous quarters. This time for attempted financial scams coming out of Southeast Asia. Oh, interesting. Nice. Love that clarity.
Yeah, so that's the thing.
I would love to know where I can see that, because like I'm, as you know, like I'm, all over the place in all the YouTube information, but I've never ran across that. So, I would love to know where to find that.
That's the type of information that I ask for, because I know there's always nuance.
Yeah.
Right. Because you can see.
You can share that stuff too. You can be like, oh no, that's not what's happening. Look at this. Yeah.
Right. But that little nuance of financial scams, mostly originating out of Southeast Asia, like that tiny little thing just kind of reframes that whole conversation.
Yeah, it does.
When I see all these accounts like, I just got terminated. Now I might go, let's go look at their location.
Right.
Because now the app formerly known as Twitter now shows locations. Yeah.
Okay, so the very first thing that I want to talk about here on your channel is your thumbnails.
Oop, hold on one second.
So, did you take it down?
Nope, I just messed up.
Okay. So right here, when we're looking at your thumbnails, the thing that I want you to think about, local prepper project, is if this were to show up. Hold on, to change that back, D.
Hang on. There it is.
There we go. That's still not right.
Yeah. Why is it not? I'm not sure what's going on. Give me 1 second here.
Okay.
It's being
so
weird.
I'm just going to keep talking while you're figuring that out.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, if you look at your thumbnail, I just want you to ask yourself, because you're somebody that makes this content, that when this shows up on your homepage, what about this would tell you that this has anything to do with it being like prepping related content, right? The only thing that you have here is this right down in the corner where it says the local prepper project for the people that happen to notice that, okay? So the very first thing that I recommend that you do is, instead of framing this around the brief, which is something that, based on the response that a lot of people aren't into yet, instead of framing it around that, put something about, escalating U.S.-Venezuela tensions, right? And in addition to that, because that's the topic of this video, and that's what's most important to the people that you're trying to reach. That's why you made a video about this topic, right? So we've got a bunch of things we have to unpack here. So the very first is making sure that you're using, imagery and or text in your thumbnail that's going to help people easily identify that the content is about something that they might care about. Okay, that's step number one. Step number two is, if we come down here and we look at your title, you have the brief, 18th of December, 2025. So what you want to make sure that you are thinking about here also is just YouTube best practices when it comes to writing titles. So first off, you're focusing on the brief and the date, which both of these things, they're not important to people yet. So because of that, you have to focus it on what people do care about, which is escalating U.S.-Venezuela tensions, okay? So what you want to do here is you want to either completely remove this part where it has the brief 18 December 25th, and you want to just have the title escalating Venezuela tensions, but you need to add something to that, because here you're just saying escalated U.S.-Venezuela tensions doesn't mean anything. However, if you change it to escalating U.S.-Venezuela tensions, what they're not telling you, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, is there something I'm missing out on? Is there a piece of information that I don't know about? Of course, the video would have to be framed around that sort of thing. But the idea is to, for yourself, when you're packaging this up, ask yourself, okay, what about this title would make it to where if somebody was seeing this, that they wouldn't think, oh, maybe I'll watch this later, or they wouldn't think, hey, what's the brief? But instead they would feel like, oh, there's something I'm missing out on, or something I need to know, or I wonder what happens here, or whatever the thing is, that would cause them to click into this video, right? Because right now, just saying escalating U.S.-Venezuela tensions doesn't add much. But then when you add a little bit of compelling information to it around, what they're not telling you, what you need to know, those types of, phrasings, then it can change the perception of what is behind that video. Now, of course, that all starts at the topic when you're making the video, what is I'm going to be talking about, and then you want to make sure that's expressed here, but you want to think about your titles and all that before you make the actual content, so that you can package it for that type of, response. So, two major things there. One is with this, get stuff in your thumbnail that's actually relevant to the topic and focus it on that relevance to the viewer. And by doing that, you're going to help other people that are into, this type of content identify that this has something to do with that. Okay. So both of those two things are things you definitely need work on. And one more thing that I need to mention here is on the, I think it's this one here. Okay, that one doesn't do it. So let me do here. There we go. So another thing here is if we look at the brief 18 December 25th. So when it comes to best practices of YouTube, one of the things that they mention, and that's just best practices in general, is that you want to front load your title with the stuff that is the most important to the viewer. Okay, so you want to front load your title with that, which in this case would be escalating U.S.-Venezuela tensions, and then whatever compelling element you add to it, or compelling phrasing that you add to it. And then if you feel that you have to put this information in here, then in that case, then you would put the bar, and then you would put the brief, and then, you know, maybe put the date in there. But keep in mind, this time next week, because you have, you know, the 18th of December, you know, from the outside, this isn't going to be, you know, people aren't going to care about this anymore, because that news cycle, you know, like it's going to still be happening, but this news cycle, you know, it'll be a little bit different. That it'll actually probably be escalated at that time. but you know, if it is timely content, having dates and things like that can be advantageous. But just keep in mind, it puts a limited lifespan on the video. And you ask also, how do you feel about the date and the thumbnail? I'm not a fan of that either. And the reason I'm not a fan of that is also because it does lock you into, you know, that period of time. If you just do it around the topic, then that expresses the same thing in terms of people, you know, being, you know, interested in that issue that's happening, but without, you know, needing to put the date on there. Another thing is, like, when it comes to this local prepper project on here, I wouldn't commit to things like that yet. I would wait until you have, you know, until you're getting like a higher response on the videos overall, and then start, you know, considering the, you know, then start considering adding any type of branding things on there if you even need it, you know, on there. So, you know, as your channel grows, as people keep coming back and they're wanting more and more from you, that's where those types of things can be helpful sometimes, but you got to be careful that they don't become the primary focus of the thumbnail if you even put them on there at all. So other people do the branding in, you know, different ways. You can do it, you know, with this, but, you know, because you put yourself in the videos, going and, you know, taking some, you know, good photos of you and then putting yourself in the thumbnail might be more advantageous to you than just putting this in here. And then here, the surveillance state is here, and it's watching you. Yeah, like these types of things. You know, I think this is okay, but I think also with this title as well, you could make this just more impactful. In terms of, you know, like, and it's watching you, like that's you know, heading in the right direction. But they're like, I'm not really sure what you're offering in this video from the outside, because you're saying the surveillance state is here and it's watching you. Okay, I know everything I need to know, and I don't really need to click on this video because I already know what I need to know from the outside. You're basically, when I click on this video, I'm expecting you to tell me that the surveillance state is here and that it's watching me. So because of that, you know, trying to create some type of curiosity gap in there that will, you know, get people to click on it more is definitely something that you want to do, instead of like giving away the whole thing, you know, on the outside with content like this. So yeah, so work on those things. 'Cause there's more that I could go over, but just work on those things to, you know, to get that part sorted. And then, you know, like later on down the road, you know, in another stream or something, we can pull it up again and, you know, and go on from there. So here, how did I end up in a circle over there? There we go. Okay. And then, hold on. Oh, there we go. That was an easy fix. Okay. So a couple super chats came in here. So very first, Creator Ambition, thanks for the super chat. I appreciate it. Says, my question is, if I put a whole bunch of unlisted videos in a playlist, will these videos be visible to the public? Yes. If they are unlisted. Yes. If they're private, then they shouldn't show up in the playlist. But if they are unlisted, then they will show up in the playlist. Urban Van Life, thanks for super chat. Neil says, wouldn't it be good if there was a course starting on January 5th for people to learn about YouTube and creating content? That would be amazing. Absolutely. Yeah. So what he's talking about, just in case you don't know about it yet, is D and I are launching Tuber School or opening Tuber School on January 5th. So if you are somebody that is, you know, wanting to learn how to do this stuff at a higher level, and you're wanting to, you know, really turn your channel into something in 2023 or 2026, 2023, where did I see a 3? In 2026, then go to tuberschool.com and you can see information on that. Right now, because we are in the pre-launch phase, we have a 25% off discount on that. So now is the time to get in. And with that, just for transparency, the whole thing is a yearly thing. So as long as you continue to participate in the school, then you will, you know, you'll be locked into whatever price you get in at. So right now, like the people that got in for the Black Friday stuff, they're locked into that price. If you get into the pre-launch group, then in that case, you're going to be locked in that price. And then we go to the regular price. And then as we add more and more content to it, then, you know, it's going to, you know, go up more as well. So if that is something you're interested in, go ahead and get into that now, but you can find information on it at tuberschool.com. So Chatty Cathy says, there's such a thing as a YouTube trust score. If so, what is it and how does it work? So, you know, like when it comes to YouTube, like some things, pardon me, my shoe came untied. So when it comes to YouTube, they do have, where they have like what's called expected watch time per impression. So that is like when you're publishing content and you are getting people to respond to what it is that you're doing, then YouTube can start to count on you for your content. So they can expect, hey, if we show, these videos to people, then, based on how other people are responding to these and how, this creator seems to grab attention and whatnot, then, they can expect, X. So those types of things, are in play on YouTube side. In terms of exactly what qualifies it and things like that, I'm not sure. That's all stuff that, that we don't have, the access to, unfortunately. But yeah, like the expected watch time thing is definitely a thing. And part of that, would be, if you want to call it a trust score, you can, but, those things are, there. So another way that they kind of frame this is like around like authority. So, for example, if you become like a reputable authoritative source on something, then in that case, if you are competing against somebody else for that same exact thing, then it's possible, of course, it's still going to come down to how people respond to the video for long term, but it's possible that you might be able to get ahead just a little bit just based on, your track record of you being an authoritative source on that thing. So there's those types of things that take place too. Tish says, I got a scute to my last market of 2025. Got to love bringing more joy to this joyous season. Merry Christmas, Nick D and the Niminati. Merry Christmas to you too. Have a, we'll see you after Christmas. Enjoy your market. So let's see here. So next up on the list here, we did the local prepper. Yeah, and really quick, Renee mentions here, he says it's very complex now. YouTube basically pre-watches videos for every viewer to try and to predict whether they'd be satisfied by it. Click, watch, etc. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Dee and I were talking today how cool it would be. Yeah, pre-watch the video. So that's some pretty cool insight. So one thing that Dee and I were talking about today that would be cool, and we were talking about this over dinner when it comes to we were talking about it here during the live stream, I think, when about how YouTube is giving like the AI summaries. And you guys might be working this in the back end already, but it would be super cool if instead of, spending time on things that are, not really that important like that, spending it on, or not an either or, but also adding things like in audience retention to where it's like, hey, people are dropping off here. And since they're dropping off here, it could be because of, and then fill in the blank. So then it starts giving people some insights into things that they might be able to work on. I think that would be a really cool feature, or a real good use of AI. To just kind of give people feedback on things like that, because I know when it comes to retention, like that's one of the hardest things for people to try to interpret. It's like, okay, people are falling off here. Like, why do I think they're falling off? And trying to, figure that part out. So having that type of lead would be, would be great.
Wookie Gaming says, somebody's watching it.
YouTube's watching. At least their AI is watching it. That's great.
Yeah. Renee, while we have your ear, we were also talking about
Renee's like, man, I'm coming in here to hanging out, and these guys got me working, answering questions.
Yeah, man. It would be great.
Sorry, Renee.
To have the ability to turn off. You know how you can say don't.
Oh, like interesting.
When you publish,
they're different teams. Summaries are the view, and app team, studio is the creator team. Nice.
So the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing.
Nice. Right. Yeah. I think that would just be a good thing on the studio team for the creator team. Like I think that would be a really cool. Addition there just to add clarity to people, because that's something that that I know a lot of people struggle with. Yeah,
well, we think would be great is when you upload a video and you can choose not to show this to your subscribers, is when you do anything for your members, you can choose not to recommend that to people. Because YouTube, we were just talking about this. So, like for example, last week we did a normal live stream here, then we did a members live stream afterwards, and YouTube was like, oh, let's recommend the member stream to a lot of people. So it'd be cool to be able to say, hey, don't recommend this. Yeah. Don't recommend this to people.
I think that would be good for archive too. So like, for example, like, because YouTube says that you shouldn't delete videos from your channel.
Right.
So if you have an archive and it's still for the right audience, but it's dated or, something like that, to where you're like, you know what?
Don't recommend this anymore.
I made this OBS video like 8 years ago. The information's not there anymore, but I don't want to delete that video. And I don't want it kind of, I just don't want to delete it. So I also don't want it, possibly, showing up in a recommendation somewhere, even with live streams, right? Like, okay, so if they had this feature to where these live streams, after a certain period of time, let's say like 2 weeks, I could say, don't recommend this to people anymore. That would be great, because I personally would love, like, I don't think these are the best for recommendations. Like, I personally would love if YouTube would just, show my videos to people, after the stream is over, after, a certain period of time. Like, I would absolutely love that. And I think having a checkbox that we could do in the video details page to where we could sunset our videos, maybe to where don't recommend it after this time, or to where we could just click a button to, and then hit save in order for, to keep it in the channel so it can still add value to people, for the people that find it, like these live streams, but not something that that would take a recommendation priority in any way, shape, or form.
So he says they're not being recommended.
I get recommended my members stuff.
So he says they're promotional slots. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So then turn off promotional slots.
Well, no, I think what he's saying is that it's just separated in terms of like that doesn't really count. I guess. I
don't know, man.
I'm interpreting that.
Yeah, I don't know, man, because I get recommended people's members stuff instead of their actual content.
So there's YouTube's on a membership-focused promotion to try and help creators grow their memberships. Okay. So next up, we've got, let's see here, Mazzy Artistry. They upload when they have time, but on YouTube for a year or more. The type of channel is art storytelling about my original characters, superheroes, villains, anti-heroes, anti-villains, etc. Oh, that's cool. The goal of the channel is to connect with others who like what they like. And the question is, this is a big one. Says, hope it's not too long, but please read to the end, and or you won't get the full story.
Read to the end.
So should I change my format and video style? Because when explaining lore for a long time, I've just done it like saying it to the camera. But when I narrate it or do it by talking as me, I repeat myself often and make the videos longer than they have to be. But I want to change it. All you have to do is edit that stuff out. So if you're repeating yourself and all that, that's actually a pretty normal part of the video making process. Like
what are they saying?
When you are, he says you wouldn't get an organic recommendation instead of the membership promotion slot. Something else would be promoted there instead. Okay, so it's a spot reserved for that kind of stuff.
So you guys must have,
that's cool.
You must have a lot of promotional slots right now.
That's cool.
That's what you're saying.
So the promotional slot determined if what the slot is filled by or not, I'd say. Huh. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I like that it's a promotional slot.
Okay,
yeah,
so really quickly before I just want to touch on this, bring it back to your question.
Okay.
So I thank you.
I'm like halfway through the question.
I know. Hold on. Yeah. Thank you for explaining it that way.
Yeah.
Just as a viewer, I will just say that I don't like the promotional slots. I don't like being recommended people's members' content because that's not why I'm on YouTube.
Yeah, he said that they do that further up in the messages to help creators also grow their memberships as well.
Okay,
it makes sense though when you look at it through the lens of a promotional slot, because if you are a channel member somewhere and they do have those spots that are reserved like just for that, and you're going to get it anyway, then putting in the content of the channels that you're a member of,
channel member
that
of,
you might not have noticed that they publish that additional members content. So I see the value in that.
If you're a channel member, it makes sense. Mm-hmm. I'm not a channel member of anybody, and I'm just bombed with.
Oh, really?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
So
okay. Yeah, I don't get that. Okay,
that's what I said. Where I think you guys have a lot of promotional slots.
Oh, got it.
Because I'm constantly shown like member stuff, and I'm saying I'm not on YouTube.
Got it.
To see locked down. Like I'm not gonna join a membership because you showed me a membership piece of content.
I'm curious how that works at scale.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says it's meant for non-members as they convert to members. Yeah, I wonder if that must convert for them at scale if they keep going.
It must.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So to start this over, says my question is if I should change my video format or style, because when explaining the lore for a long time, as I've done it. Okay, so we got through that part about, editing your videos. So if you edit the videos, then in that case, you can say it as many times as you need to, and then you just cut out all of the bad takes, and then you just leave in the one take. When you do that, it makes for a much better experience for the viewers, and on your end you're gonna be like, wow, that came across really good, because you cut out all of that bad stuff and all the takes that you said that weren't good. And then you mentioned that you made a mini movie months ago, and if you check it, you'll see I'm not narrating. So I'm not watching videos during the stream, and it says since I uploaded last things happen, it's been faster, more fun. Yeah, okay, so yeah, the whole thing is, if you start recording your videos and you know that you're going to edit them, then all of the things that you're concerned about here, they all go away. And it allows you to be able to create with confidence because you know that you can take out those things that aren't representing you in the way that you want to be represented. And then you will always end up with that last take that you took that you were, that was good enough in your brain to say, hey, okay, that was it. I'm going to move on to the next thing now. Then you can just isolate it down to those takes. And that's part of the rough cut that you put together when you're editing videos is you just kind of narrow down all those additional takes until you get all the good ones, and then that is what ends up making up the core information for the video. Home Wrap Repair, what's going on? Hope you are doing great. So next up, we got Real Men Rising. Real Men Rising, they upload 1 time per week or more. They've been on YouTube for a year or more. They say... Let's see here, get down to the question. Says, what are some ways I can better improve my thumbnails and the packaging on the channel? So let's go see what you got going on. Okay. So Real Men Rising Up for Life is the name of this channel here. Yeah, and Scale Train Station says, top tip, the last take is the keeper. Yep. Makes it easy. D does a clever thing where he claps when he gets a good take, so then he just looks for those spikes. That's such a good move, and I still haven't implemented that. You mentioned that like a year ago, and I still haven't done that. But that's such a great,
I've been doing
that's
that.
such a great approach. Yeah, such a great approach.
That man, I know some people snap, some people clap, some people put something up in front of the lens and they look for a frame. But anything you can do to identify that clip as being bad. Man, you can just burn through.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, for me, I just end the clip. So, so that's kind of my clap, I guess. Is like just whatever the last one is, then that's the one, right? For the individual clips. So but if I was doing like a long video though, where I wasn't doing clip by clip, then that would just be that'd be great.
I mean, so I pull the clips in because I make a ton of mistakes. I'm always tripping over my own words and stuff. So I have a folder with all of these videos in there, and then usually by the time, and what I do is I will move my video editor. I kind of split my screen a little bit. I would say the video editor takes up maybe 75-80% of the screen. And I have a little sliver of the actual folder with the clips. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to delete this one. And then I look at the number that's on the actual clip.
Yep.
I hit delete there, and I go to the folder and delete it out of there. So I'm not, wasting disk space at the same time. Nice. And I just go clip by clip, just taking them out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Home Wrap Repair says, call me a sellout, but I think that YouTube is right on here. How else would they promote channel memberships? And then Andrew says, I think it's a great idea in theory, but promotion tactics similar to ad frequency. Let me determine no, medium, or high. Yeah, interesting. Okay, so so on this channel, basically you're talking about your thumbnails. So let's get these up here and see what's going on. So let's see what's happening here. So we've got what makes a real man, ? Real Men Rising, and then the true meaning of what it means to be a real man. So, yeah, I mean, when it comes to your thumbnails, I mean, I wouldn't put the Real Men Rising on there. I don't think that's needed. But, what it takes to be a real man, having that text in there, I mean, you are duplicating, a lot of what is in the title itself. And really, when it comes to this, I don't see anything that, is super compelling about this. Here you have how to lead your family as a man. That might be something that people are searching for, and if so, then that's a good fit for that. But then you get back over to here, and there's not much clarity on this one, how to have an eagle mentality in your life. So I think this one is I'm not sure what an eagle mentality is. And because of that, I guess for some people that might create some type of curiosity. But, I would try to be a little bit more clear. So, for example, instead of how to have an eagle mentality in your life, whatever value the eagle mentality, adds to people, then in that case, framing it more around that might be a better approach there, just so you have some clarity and there's real value attached to it, instead of this where, there's not really, I don't even know what that is in terms of, how to have an eagle mentality in order for that to be of interest in any way. So, you might be in some insider language thing going on there, and if that's the case, then that's fine. But from an outside point of view of somebody that isn't aware of that language, this is a pretty big disconnect there. Really, what are your thoughts on the thumbnail, Steve?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what you said. I'm just a little bit confused in regards to who you're making these videos for. Obviously, you're making them for men, but could you, define that man a little bit more? What type of man are you trying to reach with
So
this
they're trying
content?
to help 10,000 men on how to raise the standard for manhood in their lives so they can become great husbands, devoted fathers, and men of integrity.
Okay, so you're targeting husbands and fathers.
Yep. And they focus on biblical manhood and fatherhood more. So they're trying to reach
faith-based. You're faith-based trying to reach
faith-based men. Yeah.
Right. So faith-based husbands and fathers. So I would make sure your language specifically speaks to them.
Yeah.
Because that's very specific.
Yeah.
Right. So faith-based husbands and fathers is incredibly specific.
Yeah.
So you need to make sure that all of your language is speaking directly to them. The terminology you're using is speaking directly to fathers.
Yeah.
It's speaking directly to husbands. And if it's faith-based, you could use some of that terminology in your titles as well. Now, for your thumbnails, I think you have a cool style going on, but I do agree with Nick. I would get rid of your Real Men Rising. That worked several years ago, but that style of like constant branding on every thumbnail doesn't really... I mean, I'm not going to say it doesn't work, but you don't need that.
Yeah.
Simplify your thumbnails.
Yeah, like right now you're not getting a response for what you're doing. So I would focus all of your efforts right now on learning how to get a response before you even consider any of the like branding and all that stuff.
But one more thing. I agree. I just want to tell you one more thing. Simplify your thumbnail when it comes to text. That includes taking the text off of your shirt.
Yep.
So every word that you have on your thumbnail, including the words on your clothing, takes up space in somebody's mind when they see your thumbnail.
Yep.
So you want, if you're putting text on your thumbnail, you want the only thing that the viewers to see here is this is your text.
Yeah.
You don't want somebody to have to read Real Men Rising, what is YouTube on a shirt. Like you're sending the user's brain in different directions. Focus them on one thing. And that's the main text that you're going to use in your thumbnail if you're choosing to put text in your thumbnail. Simplify the whole thing. Your background is cool.
Yeah.
I dig that. You've got that cool little X thing going on in the background. That's cool. Get Real Men Rising off of there. Clean the text off of your shirt. Simplify your thumbnail a bit in addition to everything else.
Yeah, and also like here, like we were talking about in terms of targeting, like how to lead your family as a man is one type of viewer. How to lead your family as a man of faith is a completely different type of viewer, and this is really who you're actually trying to reach, right? So I would definitely try to add that type of clarity, like Dee was talking about, to what it is that you're offering here. So that'll help people know that it's for them. And then here, like don't drown in your sexual sins as a man of faith. You could drop that, in there as well. So then you're directly calling those people out as well, which I think it's probably kind of, suggested here in this title, but you just make it that much more clear there. Another thing that I would do is it looks like you've committed to, I'm using this text style, I'm using this background, and I'm using this branding, and I'm, always going to be wearing this shirt. So I wouldn't commit to that kind of stuff yet. Like what I would be doing in your case right now is I'd be doing a lot of experimentation. So, let me go here really quick.
Yeah, I agree with that. You need to be experimenting with different styles and different ways of getting attention right now. And dialing in on who it is that you're trying to make these videos for.
Yeah.
Because what you're doing isn't working yet.
I'm not sure how to type for this, but we're going to try to figure this out here.
Okay.
Okay, Dial In Ministries. I don't know if that's going to be the thing. Christian Manhood Channel. Here we go. So they're at 7,000 subscribers. So I'm not sure what they're doing here or what the response is. Okay, yeah. So this isn't the one to follow.
Well, they got explosions going on their farm.
Yeah, right.
They're killing cows over there. That's not very Christian-like.
Let's see here. Text humble.
Biblical masculinity. Oh, that's good. Here, scroll over there.
Is that what I'm looking for here?
No.
Biblical.
Yeah, you could try that.
Oh, yeah, right up here at the top.
Yeah.
So let's see. Oh, okay, it's the same stuff. Okay, what is biblical manhood? Yeah, I'm trying to find other channels that are similar to this. This is just a Christian perspective. Okay, so I'm having trouble finding other channels that are, that are making what you're making, which could be a good thing in terms of, there might not be that many out there. But it looks like a lot of people are making content on the topic, but in terms of just a really super quick look here, this is a collab. So let's see if we got somebody here. Let's go to James. Let's go over to James here. And
he's brand new. He has 4 videos.
Oh, okay, yep, that's not it
but
either.
He's still, even for 4 videos, he's still doing well, assuming those are organic.
Yeah, so anyway, the thing that I'm trying to do, and you should do this on your own because I'm having trouble, like you might be more familiar with the niche, is I would definitely go and look and find other people that are making similar content to yours and pull them up and just kind of look at what they're doing with their thumbnails. Like with these, they have like the authority thing going on where they look like they're on some like podcast thing. All the images are like super high quality, like all of this stuff like looks really good. Compared to the image here where you can see like the lighting's, kind of off and, all that stuff. Nano Banana, you could drop this into Nano Banana, it could fix all that for you in like one prompt and make it look like a pro photo. But, those types of things seem to be, at least for this search term, things that people are responding to. So I would just consider, that sort of thing. But yeah, I would just look into other channels that are making similar things and just look what they're doing with your thumbnails, because I could be wrong, but I don't think that, this approach here, I don't think this is going to be the answer. But again, I could be wrong on that, but I just don't think that, the way that these are currently being put together is going to be the answer with this. I would also experiment with things, man. Like I would experiment with, like here you have like, what is courage? Be specific. Like one of the things that are really important when it comes to YouTube, and Dee touched on this where he was talking about having... like calling out the audience and, all that stuff, like, faith-based men and, all that. This is another one of those scenarios where you are just saying, like, what is courage? And literally anybody could click on this. And right now, where you're at with the channel and your video performance, you don't want just anybody clicking on this. You want faith-based men that you're trying to help clicking on this, right? That should be like the priority right now. In every video that you have that doesn't speak to them clearly that this is for faith-based, men, then I would go in and I would try to, update that video to where it does get clear. And the way that you do that is you simply go to each video and you say, okay, if this video were to show up on somebody's homepage, a faith-based man's homepage, how does this instantly at a glance, let them know that this content's for them? Yeah. Not just that it's about sexual sins, but that it's, that it's for, faith-based men. I would work on that right now.
Faith-based fathers and husbands.
Yeah, faith-based fathers and husbands, faith-based men, all
right?
of that.
Yeah, you need it. And that's even,
right.
Fathers and husbands, that's different than, an 18-year-old young man. Right. Who might not be married yet, maybe doesn't have children yet. No. So you need to really dial in who it is you're making these videos for.
So they can become great husbands, devoted fathers, and men of integrity. Okay. So he might be trying to reach young people that he'll turn into that.
Then that's who you need to target.
Right.
Like whoever it is you're trying to target, it needs to be clear. Mm-hmm. It needs to be very clear with the way you're packaging your videos.
Yeah.
So that, like Nick said, at a glance, if it shows up on somebody's home feed, YouTube says, oh, we think this is a great fit for you. We're going to show this to you. They're not going to just scroll by. They're going to go, oh, he's talking about me.
Right.
That video is for me.
Yeah, another thing too is, just make sure that every video that goes on the channel is for those guys, because here you have like how YouTube could be affecting your mental health. That might be targeted towards them, but this is another one where just like your courage video, like anybody could click on this. And right now you don't want just anybody clicking. You want the guys that you're trying to reach and serve. Yeah. You want those guys clicking on your content. So yeah, I would go through everything that you're doing and make sure that you, that it's clear that it's for those guys.
Okay, so we need to kind of go back and figure out why this guy's blowing up cows. Like the entire chat, we're having a conversation here about what's going on with this guy blowing up cows.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. And just for the record, guy blowing up cows.
That wasn't him. That was one of the other people. Yeah.
I'm just saying, but the guy blowing up cows is like, was that his thumbnail, or was that like the first frame of the video?
I didn't even see the guy on the cow. I'm not sure. I didn't see it.
Okay.
I'll catch that one on the replay.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I hope he didn't hurt any cows. Yeah.
Yep.
Back to the cows. Huh. Sometimes you need to just
go back to the cows.
Yeah. Everyone's like, what happened to the cow? That is called a curiosity gap, ladies and gentlemen. Yep. That frame created curiosity. Now everyone here wants to know what happened to the cow.
Right.
And the only way we can find out what happened to that cow, and if any cows were actually exploded, if you could say that about a
destroyed,
cow.
Maybe
destroyed,
harmed
in any way.
Probably would have been a subtle way to do
the
that
only way that we can figure that out now is if we go watch the video and see what happened to the cow.
Oh, I love it.
That is how you create curiosity. Yep. Go cow man.
So Daniel also mentioned, he says he can't read the word courage without hearing it in the Cowardly Lion's voice, like in The Wizard of Oz. And Shark Scrapper said the same thing. That's interesting.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
The courage.
Yeah. It is.
Right?
Yeah. So next up, we've got Irate Garage. You know what that name reminds me of?
What, Courage?
Do you remember that guy?
Courage.
Do you remember that guy? No, the channel name Irate Garage.
Oh.
Do you remember that guy that used to stand? I don't even know if he's still around, but he used to like stand in his garage and just break everything and freak out.
Yeah.
Do you remember that guy? Didn't he like buy gold and like credit cards and go into debt buying gold and say on video that he's never going to pay him back and stuff like that?
He was buying gold. He was getting credit cards, and he was buying gold with the credit cards.
Yeah.
And then he was never going to pay the credit cards off, and he didn't care about bankruptcy. He was like, "I'm getting gold," and that was bad. I mean, he probably made out on that.
That was probably probably 15 years ago.
15, probably 15 years ago.
Long time. Yeah.
So considering the price of gold then and the price of gold now, he was ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
He used to go in his garage.
He just destroy stuff.
He would have a bat
scream
or a golf club, and he'd be like green grass shoots, or what they call them, green shoots, or it was the government at the time was using some terminology, something about green shoots or grass shoots, and he would just scream about that. He was so angry.
Man,
he was so angry. Yeah, I would love to track that dude down. Like, how did that work out for you, man?
That's the good old days of YouTube right there.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, how did that work out?
Back when that stuff was like, super popular.
Yeah.
Just some dude freaking out in his garage and like everybody was watching it.
He would break everything in his garage, just yelling about all the financial reports that were coming out.
Good old days. Okay. Yep. So Irate Garage.
By the way,
on here.
If somebody doesn't have a YouTube channel called Exploding Cows.
Yeah.
Like, listen, if you have a farm, you have an opportunity.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that would work in terms of like gore and all that stuff. Yeah, it'd be interesting.
You don't have to actually have to. You don't have to do the cow.
So Irate Garage does mostly automotive content. The goal of the channel is to make money, and says, "How's the packaging? I really feel like I don't know what I'm doing sometimes. It's okay. Like, this is all a learning curve. Even when you know stuff, sometimes stuff still slips by. So we're gonna take a look, and we're gonna see what's going on over here." So I got to work on stuff anyway. Might as well film it and bring you along. Okay, cool. So let's go to your videos tab. See what you got going on. Okay. Will it plow snow? Oh, I'm not sharing the screen here. Stage. So we've got will it plow snow? 85 Ford Bronco pickup truck runs horribly. Can I save it? Ready for winter. Time to plow. Winter cable plow. The ultimate setup guide.
Craig, hold on.
I like this right here.
So we have a question in the chat really quick. This is important. It says, chat, is it a crime to use AI thumbnails? I did it for my live stream, and that video has the most impressions. It is a crime, in fact, and we have called the FBI. We've alerted the FBI. They are on their way. No, man, whatever.
No, whatever people respond to, right? Some people don't care about that. Some people do. So, if your, viewers don't mind that, then yeah, it's perfectly fine.
Yep.
So let's see your power stroke, one glue hook.
And the FBI is coming, by the way.
Yep. So washer nozzle, I messed up. Okay, so one problem that you're going to run into, and there's really nothing that you can do about this, is if you look here, because you are showcasing very specific things, like 2008 to 2010 Ford Super Dry windshield washer nozzle replacement. So the thing with this type of content is you published this 3 weeks ago. This video might end up doing well long term if people find it in YouTube search when they're trying to solve this problem. But in terms of the people watching this video, and then let me do this another way here. In terms of people watching this video and then saying, okay, I watched this, and then YouTube recommends this to these people, and they're like, oh, okay, well, I don't have this, truck, so I don't care. And then here, the ultimate setup guide, I think this one's actually good. I would actually focus this more on the plow itself than I would the truck, since the whole thing is about, the setup guide. I would get the truck in there because it is for the truck, but I would zoom this whole thing in to like here. Right, so you're just like really focused on that plow. It might be too late now. I'm not sure in terms of people needing this, But I think it's good that you made these videos. But when it comes to the things that you're fixing, though, the downside of these is you become a search utility. So people that are searching for things, then they can run into this. So there's good and bad with that. The good is that, you know, if you get good search placements, then it can bring a lot of views over time if this is a problem that people, you know, need help with a lot. The downside is it makes it hard when it comes to YouTube recommending content for people to, you know, be like, oh, people really watched and enjoyed this video. So then when you publish this video, if YouTube shows it to some of those people because they really liked it and they showed all the right signals, then they're not going to respond to this video because, you know, they're not really related in any way, shape, or form. So you have that working against you. Helping a brother out, why your 76 Eldorado won't run right, vacuum line check. Yeah, things like this too, right? There's also when it comes when it comes to the videos that you publish, another thing that you have to consider
I had a 72 Eldorado.
Another thing that you have to think about is the possible reach for the video. Like, how many people is this video actually going to be relevant to? And when you are talking about specialized things like this, just know, like, it's fine to do these videos, but just understand that every time you do one of these videos, that you are, you know, making these videos for a pretty small market. I mean, there might be, you know, a lot of people that have still have, you know, classic Eldorados. However, you know, the people that have classic Eldorados, plus they need to fix a vacuum line, plus they don't know how, and therefore they're coming onto YouTube to, like, learn how to do it. How to get my power stroke ready for winter. I think this one's okay. I would definitely focus more on the actual, you know, truck, though, than I would the the words, if you're cold, they're cold thing. That doesn't really, matter in terms of attention there, and it doesn't suggest any additional value or add any, like, real context here. But I would focus more on the actual, you know, things that you're talking about there. But yeah, so in your case, I think the things that you have working against you are, you know, things like the utility content, which can work for you. It's just the, you know, returning viewers on this are going to be pretty much non-existent unless you do a series around this to where, you know, you help fix all these problems around this particular truck. Then in that case, you know, it becomes a little bit more relevant to people there and gives them, you know, a little bit more of a reason to want to come back. Power steering replacement. Yeah, another thing too is, like, here, because you are talking about, like, all these different cars, like you have like a F-350 here in these two videos, a Cadillac here, a Ford Super Duty over here. So basically the thing that you have working against you is you're just talking about so many vehicles. And the challenge with channels like yours is that because you're talking about so many different vehicles, that it becomes challenging to get people, you know, coming back, and just for people to click on the problems that you're solving directly from their homepage too. Because, you know, when it comes to this, like, if YouTube's recommending this to people, you got to think, like, okay, if this shows up on somebody's homepage, then they probably have to have a Chevy Tahoe in order to be interested in this, and they have to be interested in replacing their brakes, like, right now for them to want to come and click on this video. So you're just running across challenges like that. So a few things that might help you, that you might want to experiment with, is one, if you do work on just a few vehicles, because I see this blue one here a handful of times, and you also mentioned the Cadillac, and then you mentioned the Eldorado over here too. So if you are working on those, make sure that you are building playlists around those, which you might be, which yes, you are, which is great. And then also try to make sure that you are linking them up with each other so that you start creating that path. And what I mean by that, and I'll just check and see if you're doing it here, is, yeah, so right here for the, you know, people that came in and watched this video, you should have a pinned comment here that says, learn how to fix other aspects of your truck here, and then link them to that playlist. Then at the very end of your video here then at the very end of your video here, I'm going to click and see if you have, where you have this. So you have a Ford Super Duty windshield washer nozzle replacement video linking to a Ford Bronco plow truck instead. So what you should do here is you should link to the playlist that contains other videos about the Ford Super Duty for the people that come in and watch this video, so that everything that gets recommended to them that's coming from this video that you have control over, all of that is leading them into, you know, the playlist to where they can watch more videos about their specific vehicle. So I would do that. In addition to that, I would also work on some general content if that's something that you're open to doing. And what I mean by that is fixing the brakes is super specific because you need that particular vehicle, and there's going to be a specific process that you go through in order to fix the brakes on a specific vehicle. However, when it comes to checking your tire pressure, that applies to everybody. So when you have a video about checking your tire pressure, then anybody that has a vehicle, that's content that they can enjoy. So since you are already mixing vehicles and things like that, then in that case, you can make content also that's just a little bit more general, to where you can use those videos as little spikes, as long as people respond to them, as little spikes of, viewership along the way, just to, bring people into your channel. But that's if you're trying to go a little bit more general. But if you are focusing on just like a few set vehicles, because I keep seeing this, the Eldorado stuff pop up, but they're different Eldorados, or different Cadillacs. So yeah, I'm not really sure here on the exact vehicles that you're covering, or if you do have consistency. But if you do, put them into playlists and just trying to drive people into those playlists would be the way forward. And making sure that when you are doing these, like here, Western Cable Plow, the Ultimate Setup Guide, instead of doing this, come up here into YouTube search and type in all of the different ways that you think people might be looking for this, and then make sure that your title itself exactly matches the way that people are looking for it, because search is going to end up being the way for a lot of these videos that you're publishing on the channel. And what I mean by search is the way is that for your type of content, yes, people can respond to it, through YouTube recommending stuff. Because if YouTube detects, hey, this person's looking for videos on fixing, like this type of vehicle, YouTube can recommend it to them. But the how specific your videos are make it to where people are going to be searching for the problems that you're helping them solve. So because of that, making sure that you're exactly matching the ways that people search for it, so then it gives you that opportunity to show up there, and then directly match how people are thinking about it when they're typing it in, so that they see you as a solution for that problem, so that they'll click on your video is the approach that you want to take. Let's see here. So next up, we've got Divide and Conquer. Divide and Conquer does daily content, but on YouTube for less than a year. They have a gaming channel. Goal of the channel is to make money. And the question is, hey, Nick, I'm a variety horror game channel. I was wondering, seeing as I'm a smaller channel, what would your advice be about ways to make money as a small creator? Okay, so since you are a gaming channel, I'm actually just going to look at your channel real quick and see what it is that you are offering here. Yeah, so since you're a gaming channel, I'm not sure in terms of, any affiliate stuff around the specific games that you're playing, but because you do have hardware that you use, it can be, if you're on a computer playing the games, which it looks like you are, but I'm not sure because I can't see the full setup. But if you're on a computer playing your games, then, listing your gear down in the video description. And other things that you can do there around the gear is, if you do sign up for affiliate programs around that gear, is let's say that I see you're wearing headphones in this video, and that you are, that you're talking into one of these microphones actually. So one of the things that you can put down in the video description, which is just kind of a, like, it might not be super relevant to your audience if you talk about the microphone, but you can put that down there as well in terms of the gear that you use. But that one's kind of iffy because, like, you can't expect much from that unless you have people that are making videos watch your content. However, when it comes to the headphones that you're wearing, if you believe that those are really good headphones and the sound is amazing, then in that case, you can link out to those headphones, and you can tell people in your content that, man, I love playing these games. I got these headphones recently, and they've been fantastic. If you want to check these out, I've got a link down in the video description. But anyway, and then you keep playing the game. And what you're doing there is you're letting people, you're spreading awareness that you have those links available, and then you're also letting people know that, that you enjoy those headphones and all that, and you are using that as a way to facilitate spreading awareness about those headphones, and then possibly getting people to click on that link where you can earn a commission from those as well. In addition to that, you can also do crowdfunding and those sorts of things, but I'm going to be straight with you here. The very first thing I would do, though, before you even start thinking about all of that, is I would work on the content, though. Because right now, with the, like, when it comes to affiliate marketing and, making money on YouTube in general, you need to have some type of, traction on the channel a little bit. So you can make money on, smaller views, but when you're doing things like affiliate marketing, especially through Amazon, where the amount that you get per sale is extremely low, you're not going to be able to make any real amount of money on, 100 views, 50 views, like stuff like that. So because of that, I would focus on the content right now and getting all that dialed in. And then once you get that dialed in, then start thinking about the money side. Hey, D, can you carry this for just 2 minutes?
I sure can. Okay. So I'm going to carry this. So here's a funny story, and I'll just go ahead and talk about this now. I took one of the cameras that we have home. We have Nick's camera. We have Nick's camera here. We have the wide camera, and then we have a camera over here that's usually on me. I took the camera home to shoot some stuff. I needed 2 cameras, and I needed an extra camera to shoot. As soon as we got in here, we came in hot today. We had about 10 minutes to go live, so we're setting everything up. And as soon as I came in, I just paused. I was like, oh, my goodness, I forgot the camera. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? So we're making do with just the 2 cameras. Yes. Hey, MacGyver 10, how you doing? That's right, Valentine. We're doing car talk today. We are doing car talk. And Anong says, hey, D, why can't you bring the car into Thailand? Customs, price, fuel. Yeah, that's a great question. One, yeah, it would have cost a fortune to bring a car over here from the U.S. 2, I wouldn't even know how to go about keeping something like that maintained over here. Having a classic car in the U.S. is significantly easier to keep maintained and to get parts for it. And number 3, I can't even imagine driving something like that over here. The Cadillac is huge. The 72 Eldorado, really long car. And I would be it's sketchy enough driving a motorbike around Thailand. I can't even imagine trying to drive a car that's basically the size of a small boat around Thailand. Some people do, though. I know people do collect classic cars in Thailand, and kudos to them. That would have been a fun thing to have. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't even look into it. It was just one of those things where it's like, yeah, that's not even going to happen. Derek says, D is going solo. Yeah, that's right. Nick went to get D's pineapple pizza. Yeah, that's right, Smart. Yeah, with the name Anong, I'm going to guess you're Thai, possibly, or in Thailand, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. I would love to have it, though. That old Cadillac was awesome. Absolutely awesome. Hey, Ed, how you doing? Good to see you. Hey, Mike, my man, Mike, I have not seen you in so long. Wow, good to see you, man. I hope you're doing well. It has been a really, really long time since I've seen you in a chat, Mike. Wow, hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Nick ate too much spaghetti for breakfast. It's nighttime over here. It is 11:40 p.m. where we're at. Let's see, 2 cameras only. What is this? A peasant stream. Yeah, well, that just goes to show you what you can put together. Sometimes we got to slum it. Sometimes we have to slum it and just kind of put 2 cameras together.
In here in these slummy YouTube streets. We're in the back alleys of YouTube here with our 2 cameras.
These YouTube streets are hard, Sometimes you got to cobble together what you can.
Yeah.
Put together.
Out here slumming it. Out here in the rough parts of town with these 2 cameras. The
back alleys of YouTube.
Yep.
Trying to make it happen with 2 cameras. Mm-hmm. It happens.
Yeah. What were you talking about? Meat and spaghetti?
Yeah, the chat went on this huge tangent about how you probably had to run to the bathroom due to eating bad spaghetti for breakfast.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, pretty much.
And we're going to have to change the AI videos to meat and spaghetti instead of Will Smith.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's how it's going to be the new benchmark for the AI video quality. Yep. Is not Nick eating spaghetti, but Nick running to the bathroom after eating spaghetti.
Yeah, and whatever that looks like. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So
that's not what actually happened.
Next up, we've got Even Rabbits is the name of the channel here. They upload 1 time per week or more, but on YouTube for 1 year or more. They do social media and YouTube talk. The goal of the channel is to connect with others who like what they like, and they say, offer merch that I create myself. I have a T-shirt print-on-demand business. Hey, that's cool.
That's awesome.
Is that considered sponsored content? Do I have to check the boxes? If it's your business, then no. If it's your business and you are, making the shirts, you're doing all this stuff, then you are not being incentivized for anything from an outside party. So because of that, you do not have to put that it's sponsored content if it's your own stuff. So don't worry about that. You are good to go on that side of things. Next up, we've got Immigration and You. Immigration and You says that they have been on YouTube for a year more to do immigration law. The goal is to teach others. And they say, I've gone 5 times and no one shows up. And I've gone live 5 times and no one shows up and asks questions. But I always have a topic prepared to talk about. I only have 90 subscribers. Did I jump the gun? Should I stop doing live sessions and spend that time making long form videos, even though I tell people in all my videos that I'll be live every Sunday at 10? What are some best practices for going live? So I've got some thoughts on this, and I know Dee's going to have some too. So the very first thing is make sure that you do look in your audience. I mean, you got 90 subscribers. So because of that, you can't necessarily expect that many people to show up yet. However, new people also come into live streams. So because of that, I'm going to look at your channel here in a second while Dee's giving you some tips also. But the very first thing that you want to make sure that you do is that you go into your audience tab on YouTube. And I'm not sure if you'll have it yet, but you might. Go and look and see if you have the graph that shows when your audience is online. So this is going to be based on, if you have activity in your channel or not. If you do, and you have that graph, then in that case, that'll let you know when people are online the most, and just make sure that you're going time when you have a lot of people online that are watching your content. So that's step number 1. Step number 2, and I'm going to actually look at your channel here while Dee's also giving some additional live streaming tips. Okay. But basically, Dee, what are your thoughts on, do you think that he jumped the gun by going live now with 90 subscribers?
No, I do not.
Okay.
I foolishly waited until I had 10,000 subscribers to go live on my channel. And what happened was, at that particular time, I got bombarded with, I'm thankful that it happened, but I think my first live stream, I probably had 100 and something people in there, 90 something people. It was a significantly large live stream for a first time doing it solo. I streamed with him previously, but the first time I did it by myself, which is a completely different experience, it was 90 people, 100 people, something like that. And it was too much. It was too much. And I had to, wear all the hats at the same time and figure out what was going on in the chat and kind of carry the conversation. And I think starting smaller is the win. Because if you can't hold a live stream together for 1 or 2 people, you're not going to hold it together for 100 people. So I think right now is actually a good learning experience. So instead of thinking, well, nobody's showing up, I want you to go in there with your topic like you're doing and record the live stream as if you're making a video. So come in and introduce the live stream. Think of if somebody comes in and watches it on the playback, right? So have a topic, title it the right way, just like you would a video. So if somebody comes in and they click that, it almost plays like a video. So if nobody shows up, you have a video. If people do show up, you can still start it like a video and then ask or answer any questions that they might have. And either way, you end up with content. So just make sure that you title it the right way. Now, yeah, this is good too. Put that back on the screen. It says, dude, I'm streaming with 310 subs. I legit have one person show up every stream, and that one person keeps me going. That's great. So the second thing I want to say is this. You can also stream vertically to YouTube Shorts. You might find that a different audience finds you through YouTube Shorts. If you don't have a TikTok account yet, I would recommend creating an account on TikTok and you have to build it up a little bit to go live, but then go live on TikTok. Like you might find a live audience someplace else.
Yeah, multicast.
Yeah, multicast out to multiple platforms. You might find it on X. Like you don't know where you're going to find your live audience. So I wouldn't just say I'm uploading in this one format, trying to go live here at this one time. I would go out at different places and I would try different times. So the time, and Nick talked about that, the time that you go live, you might be going live when your audience is doing something else. So I would experiment with when you go live, and I would prep your videos to be great, or I would prep your live streams to actually be videos when you're finished. So don't waste don't waste time. As soon as somebody comes in and hits play, tell them what they're going to get, what we're going to talk about in today's stream. So at the very least, you have a piece of video content when it's over. If people show up, that's great. But yeah, you have to learn it. You have to learn how to do it for no audience or a small audience, and prepare yourself, because when you do get a bigger audience, there's a lot you have to juggle. So I think it's good that you're starting off small.
Yeah, and this graph right here, this is the one that you're looking for. So it's when your viewers are online on YouTube, this is what you're looking for, and you want to make sure that you go live when people are, online. Because you can go live, when they're not, but if you go live when they are, then then there's people there to actually be there. But a few things I want to talk about here. Now that we have our kind of thoughts out of the way on just going live, even when you don't have a lot of people in there yet, for the sake of practice and all that, and how important that is. Another thing that I do want to mention is that when it comes to the replays, you are getting people here on the replays. So like you've got 54 views on that one, 18 views on this one, 32 views, 60 views. So people are coming in on the replay. So knowing that people are coming in on the replay, this is kind of like making a video, right? So you do have people that are coming in and they are, watching this. So what you want to start doing, if you're not doing this already, is when you start your live stream, tell them exactly what you're going to be talking about. And right now, until you do start having people come into the live stream, instead of, doing like an hour-long live stream, say, okay, I'm going to, talk about this aspect of immigration, and I'm going to essentially make a video, but do it live. And the reason I'm doing that right now is because I'm practicing going live. 2 is I am making content that if it does get recommended to people that are interested in the immigration stuff, that they can come in and they can get value out of it without having to make an hour commitment right now. And by doing that, it's going to save you time on the stream. And when you are doing the live stream, don't think that you have to do it for an hour or 30 minutes. Right. Just do it for as long as you need to in order to get the content out. And then as you're doing that, if you start noticing, hey, I'm starting to get some people coming in here, that's where you start modifying things and saying, okay, now that I am getting some people in here, then after I get through that content part, is there somewhere at the end, maybe I can do like a Q&A or something like that. And as people are coming in, I can let them know, hey, have you got any questions about this? I'm doing a Q&A at the end of the video. And then you start preparing them for that if they're sticking around. So doing those types of things are definitely things that you want to consider. But another thing that I just want to bring to your attention is your thumbnails for all of this. I would focus more on the imagery and less on the text for a lot of this. So you don't need to put the immigration and you on there, because right now there's not a lot of people that's going to matter to in terms of the little branding stuff that you have on here. Instead, focus it on the imagery itself, and then try to limit the text on your thumbnail. Like here, are you smarter than an immigrant? Part 4 here. Roman numerals, that's 4, right? Is that 4 or 5? Yeah, I think that's 4.
Yeah,
it's before the other one. I haven't messed with Roman numerals in a long time.
6.
Is that a 6?
If I can see that right, because it's the one after the 5.
Okay, yeah, Roman numerals are not my thing, obviously.
So it'd be 6. Well, listen, one of us.
Yeah, I was born in America, so
one of us was a gladiator, one of us was not.
Yeah, right.
So,
but basically, part 6. Thank you, flash in your pan. So basically, when it comes
hold on,
to,
I told you what it was.
Yeah,
Why'd
I know,
you
but I'm
think
thanking him. Yeah. So,
why did you think Ed? I told you what it was. I stopped what I was doing to let you know that I was a gladiator. And
okay,
I
so something I want to bring to your attention here is by having that in the thumbnail, you also aren't really adding much to this conversation by putting that in the thumbnail. So what you want to do is focus on the imagery and then focus on like a core thing that you're trying to bring to people's attention. Like in this case, are you smarter than an immigrant might be the thing. And if you already have this here, take the part 6 off of here, because again, this doesn't matter. And then maybe take this immigrant quiz to find out, or something like that. And then have the title, are you smarter than an immigrant? And then over here, green card or gold, I would be a little bit more specific on what you're offering there. And again, lean more on the imagery and less on, all of this extra text that you're adding to the thumbnail. A lot of times, less is more. Same thing here, new bond rules. I would put, more imagery in here and, maybe fill it up more with you, and then put, a little bit of text over here for, for what it is that you're actually offering from that content. But you already have people come in on their replay, so you can definitely dial this stuff in and start getting better results from this. But I would, make sure that you are putting that, time into dialing that stuff in. And same thing on the videos. I would definitely, work on the thumbnails. So I would go to like any immigration channel, and we were talking about this before. I would go to any immigration channel that's making content that's similar to yours, that's doing well on YouTube, and just compare their thumbnails to yours, right? Compare their titles to yours, all that stuff, so you can start to get an idea of what people are responding to at the higher levels in your niche.
That's funny.
Can't believe I didn't know what a Roman numeral 6 is. Right.
Well,
I thought it was a 4 with it being in front.
Well, you were
there.
close.
Yeah, I was. I was only 2 off.
I mean, you were close. It was either going to be a 4 or it was going to be a 6.
Yep.
The important thing is you identified the 5.
Yeah, right.
You identified the 5.
Thanks for your support, D.
That's what I'm here for.
Right.
You identified the 5. You were just unsure it was a 4 or it was 6.
Yeah, it's good. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, you could be dyslexic,
right?
As Valentine Station said. You could have leaned into your dyslexia.
Yeah. Shark Scrapper says, as a gladiator, do you want 4 opponents or 6? Yeah, I'll take 4. Yeah,
there you
I'll definitely
go.
take 4. Yeah.
So as we're going into battle, you need to ask me how many people are out there waiting.
How many people are out here? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. How many people are we expecting out here?
Yeah. Listen, brother, we got 4 out there. Do we have 6 out there? Which ones are you taking?
So Media Hammock is our next channel here. They do bi-weekly content. They do video production, camera tips, and reviews.
Hey, Sue.
Goal of the channel is to be a full-time content creator. And the question is, I was recently giving access to the YouTube affiliate program. If I were to link a product to my video via the YouTube affiliate program, am I still allowed to use my Amazon affiliate link in the description? Yes, you are. So when it comes to using YouTube stuff, you can have the YouTube affiliate stuff, and you can have your links down in the video description as well. Yeah, no problems at all there. And it gives people options too. So, for the people that don't want to get it through whatever, place that you're sending them through those links, if you let them know that you have links in the description or, on the screen, then in that case, they can go down there to find additional solutions. Like, let's say on screen, you're linking to, like Walmart, and then down in the description, you're linking to Amazon, right? So then that way you can give people options. Let's see here. Really quick, Build and Fix with Mooney. Thanks for the super chat. Man says, new video where I built rustic fireplace mantle beam from scratch and cut it around a stone wall. Very difficult. Can you help with the title? Yeah, in order to help with the title, I would need to watch the video and know what it is that you're offering in the video. I'll take a look really quick and just kind of see what it is that you have here. Let's see here. How to build a floating mantle beam to fit uneven walls. No, I think that's good. I think your title's okay on that one, because you're basically posing the problem, right? That you're doing it on uneven walls, and you are clear that it's a how-to video. So yeah, I think in terms of your title, I think it's okay. Okay, so next up, we've got We Go Fishing. We Go Fishing does bi-weekly content, but on YouTube for a year or more. Does fishing content. Goal of the channel is to teach others. And the question is, what is preventing my growth? Okay, let's take a look and see what you're doing. We Go Fishing. Okay, so let me pull this up here. Texas just banned drone fishing. Oh my gosh, I didn't know drone fishing was a thing.
Hold on. Okay, well, I don't know which is the bigger problem. The fact that, or problem, drone fishing is a thing.
I didn't know that. Did you know that?
I didn't know. No. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know what the bigger thing is here. That one, we just learned that drone fishing was a thing, which is pretty bizarre and probably very skilled if you think about it. Like, imagine trying to catch a fish with a drone, right? But number two, why would you ban that?
Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with drones catching fish?
Right.
That's like somebody woke up someday and said, you know what? We have a problem.
Hey, kids, here's a bunch of sugar, but don't fly a drone to catch some fish.
Yeah. We have a problem. We have too many drones catching fish.
Yep. Yeah, and
that's just such the
even Rabbit says the problem is that you're spending too much time fishing. Right, that's the problem. Okay, so let's get serious here for a second. Okay, so the
drone it's a drone to spot fish. What's wrong with that?
Oh, it's for spotting. Okay.
If you have a boat and you go out like in the Bering Sea, they have radar that can tell them where all the crab are and all the fish that they're. Who cares if you're using a drone to spot fish?
I was thinking they were flying drones in and dropping dynamite. That's what I thought was happening. When they're drones are they're banning drone fishing, I was thinking drone flies in, they drop dynamite or something, blows, and then all the fish float up. That's what I was thinking was going on.
That's pretty cool. That's almost.
Well, that's what I thought. I was like, oh, maybe they're banning that because maybe it's a little bit too violent or not fair to the fish. It's not like fair hunting situations. I'm not sure.
But you think they would ban dynamite?
Right.
Not the drones.
I think they did though. Yeah.
Not the drones dropping dynamite. Well, there could be a technicality. I'm not.
So Texas banned drone fishing here on this channel. So we have Texas banned drone fishing. Texas text issues ban drone fishing in 2025. So the very first thing is I wouldn't put the date on here. This video did okay, so just leave it alone for now, but I would just get ready to change that. And I would just do, text issues ban drone fishing, or did they? Just because it's a new video as they're circulating this around, I don't think you need to have the 2025 in there. 5 simple mistakes that are costing you fish and how to fix them. I think all of this is good. In terms of your title, fishing tips that you must know, I think that's good. You are using the right imagery there. So in terms of how you're, positioning all of this, I think, all of this is fine. So the problem here is probably in how people are responding once they get into, the video itself. So that, we don't watch videos during the stream. We just look at like the packaging stuff and some other things that don't require that, just for copyright reasons and everything. But when it comes to this, I think that, this video in terms of how you have it framed, I think is solid.
Tank shark scrapper. Catching trout and redfish with this exact rig, full breakdown. Yeah, I think
Sonar. That's okay too. Like rig for results, maybe showing the rig a little bit, might be helpful there, or just on like an A/B test on YouTube side, and experimenting with like, okay, let's show her in the fish, or let's show the rig in the fish, or just the rig, by itself, in that environment. I would experiment with those. Popping cork mistakes that are costing you fish. Yeah, I'm not sure what the popping cork is, but in terms of the imagery, though, I think the imagery that you're using is pretty solid on most of these. But one thing that I would do, though, is because you had this video do substantially better than the other videos on the channel, and I'm just doing a quick scan here to see if you've had anything else recently. Looks like you had some years ago. But yeah, recently it seems like this one is... and here's one from a year ago. So yeah, recently it seems like this one's it. So if people are responding to this one, follow-up video to this, maybe if you have anything else to say about it, and also anytime some type of drama like this happens in the, fishing world, and I'm not sure if this is even I can't imagine that drama in the fishing world is going to be a regular occurrence, but if it is, then, you can use things like this to update people on things like this that are going on, because people did respond to this, because this is a thing where you're bringing attention to something that, could impact, a lot of people. So I think that there. But in terms of how you have, like using, you guys, you're out in the, in the environment, you got a big emphasis on the fish, which is going to grab the attention of people that are fishing. There's little things that you're doing that I don't think are probably making a big difference for, how people are responding. Like, for example, the text here is kind of hard to read on this video here. Like those types of things, like, the white's kind of fading into the background here. But I don't really think that those things are really making a big difference, because you're focusing on the right things. So it's got to be the actual content itself. Yeah, you won't believe these new fishing regulations. Yeah, for this, you might want to be a little bit more specific, kind of like you were here. I don't know if those regulations are nationwide or whatever, but, calling it out, you won't believe these new fishing regulations in the United States or in Texas, or, wherever the thing is, wherever that regulation is taking place. Letting people know about that and being a little bit more specific is definitely something to consider. And also, because this worked, I would update this thumbnail to be something similar to this, to where it has, new fishing regulations would be the yellow text up there, and then put, her with the fish over on this side. So I just kind of repeat this since it seemed to work for people there. But instead of Texas banned drone fishing, I would try the, new fishing regulations. So then it's like, oh, what is this? What are the regulations? So that, hopefully, that'll get more people clicking on that too. But yeah, so here's what I want you to do is, because you have, a decent amount of videos, because you've been, publishing, a while, there are some, minor things that you're doing. But when it comes to, like you're publishing on a regular basis, you're doing all that stuff, what you're offering is, pretty similar in terms of, the audience that you are, trying to reach with this stuff. So, because of that, I would dig into the actual video content itself. And what you want to do is you want to just go into the videos. You want to look, because inside of every YouTube video, you have what's called an audience retention report. So you can go into that audience retention report and you can see how people are responding to your content. So I would look for, like right now, I just focus on the first 30 seconds and say, okay, how are people responding in the first 30 seconds? And then say, what was I doing in the video in that first 30 seconds, and what other things can I do in the next video to experiment with different ways to start my video. And then by doing that, through those experiments, you're going to start finding things that people stick to more and that cause people to stick around a little bit longer, so that you can, repeat that process through the videos themselves. But I think your packaging is actually okay. So I would work on the actual video content, trying to understand that. With this content. Any additional thoughts, T?
Nope, I agree.
Okay.
But while you were speaking there, I was kind of looking into what drone fishing actually is.
Oh.
So they said they use drones to fly baited lines far out into the water, reaching spots inaccessible by casting, allowing anglers to catch fish like snapper and tuna from shore. But it's controversial because it raises questions about fairness and specific regulations, blah, 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 blah. So I guess it's not fair to use a drone?
Don't know.
What a weird thing. I had no idea that was a thing.
Right, me neither. So FM fan YT is our next question here. They upload 1 time per week or more, been on YouTube for less than a year. They do gaming content. And the question is, question for D.
Oh.
In your video with Nick and Dusty, you mentioned live streaming on YouTube. My 2-part question, would you recommend first stream on YouTube for videos after or Twitch? Also, is there a specific time length to stream each time to gain watch time? For example, 3-hour live stream or 4-hour? Thanks.
So
how long should they stream for? And would you recommend on their first stream on YouTube or over on Twitch? Because you mentioned in that conversation about how you would live stream privately over on Twitch to a smaller group of people.
Right. So so for some context, I said
the intimacy.
Right. I in the context of the podcast with Dusty Porter, State of YouTube. Go watch that. By the way, listen to it, whichever one you want to do. I talk about how I went, and that kind of plays into what I talked about earlier about going live. I waited till I had 10,000 subscribers. I went live, and there were a lot of people in there, and you lose some intimacy. The more people show up, the more you don't notice everyone. You can't talk to everyone in there. So I started doing these really small streams over on Twitch, where and it really wasn't announced. I would just pop up over there. A couple people have, I have a few followers, and just a couple people show up, and it's just like a great intimate experience. So I would recommend, number one, streaming for as long as you need to stream. A lot of people have this idea that they need to do these marathon streams, or I need to stream for an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours. Stream for as long as you need to stream. If that means 15 minutes, make it 15 minutes. If that's 30 minutes, 30 minutes. If it's an hour, stream for as long as you need to stream. If no one is showing up, I really don't recommend streaming for a long period of time. That doesn't make a lot of sense. So, if no one's showing up or very few people are showing up, I would keep it fairly short. Don't drag it out because you see other people in your niche doing long streams, right? Did you say he was a gamer?
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of gamers they'll stream for hours. That's not necessary until you build up an audience. Yeah. Even then, it's not necessary. Right. But I wouldn't do that unless you have an audience. Yeah. So the problem with Twitch is, at least unless they've changed things, I haven't streamed over there in a while, they don't have that. They don't have the recommendation that YouTube has. So YouTube gives you that added advantage of having an algorithm where it might be easier for people to find you. So as we mentioned earlier, I would suggest streaming out horizontally and vertically to YouTube. I would multi-stream out to both at the same time, because you might find that people pick you up on the short shelf. Multi-pass. People might pick you up on the short shelf, or they could pick you up somewhere else. If you could, and I think, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, I haven't looked at Twitch in a while. I think they now allow multi-streaming on Twitch. I know for a while they didn't. Maybe somebody can, whoever's a regular on Twitch, can update us on that.
Yeah, but you can multicast over there. It used to be against their terms, but they opened it up.
So I'm right. Yeah. So they did open it up. So you could multicast on YouTube vertically and horizontally and to Twitch at the same time. So you could do that. But if you're only going to pick one, I would pick YouTube, and I would stream out both vertically and horizontally. So you're going out in the short shelf and normally.
And on that note, I do want to remind you, if you are somebody that is new to YouTube or you're struggling with YouTube, it's important to remember that YouTube is a learning curve, just like anything else you're going to do. I say this at the end of every live stream because it's important just to remember this for all of us. YouTube is a learning curve, just like, if you start a new job, you start a new hobby, you start, a sport, you start, playing an instrument, anything like that. You have all these different things you need to learn. Some of them are skill-based, some of them are knowledge-based. YouTube is the same exact way. So if you're struggling right now, it just means that there's, more skills that you have to develop, more stuff to learn. So because of that, focus the most on the skills, because those skills help you when you're learning things, be able to learn it more efficiently. So focus on the skills, focus on, building up your knowledge, and keep going, because it can be discouraging sometimes when things aren't, going the way that you would hope they go on your channel. So hang in there. You got this. It's tough. It's challenging. It can take some time and some effort, but you can do this. So hang in there. You got this. This is our last stream before Christmas, not New Year's, but this is our last stream before Christmas.
So have a wonderful Christmas.
Have a wonderful Christmas. Happy holidays. If you don't celebrate Christmas, whatever it is that you celebrate, have an awesome one. And we will see you next time. And make sure that you do check out Opus Clip, tuberschool.com, creatordashboard.com. I got links to everything down in the video description, so make sure you check all that stuff out. Have a great weekend, and we will see you next time.
Yep.
D, great stream.
Yep. Ching.
Ching.